I got a message on my phone, and it was in the height of the storm. Ken Malden calling me to see if I was okay, but I couldn't take the call because my cell phone I could only hear on it, and he couldn't hear me.
I'll be damned.
Yep. Ken Malden calling in the middle of the storm to see if I'm okay.
Well, there's a great guy, Ken Malden, one of the dying breed, a vanishing breed, one of the last of the old guard.
Yes, he is.
They don't make him like that anymore.
He's the best. Actually, you know something, Neil? Your guys and my guys have been working very hard the last couple of days, and to get information out, and they've done. I think they've done very well.
Yeah.
And
the only thing
if I ran this company, if I was a Clampett, I would take care of
bonus.
Well, yeah.
And this ought to seal Josh Cordes' big raise that he's supposed to be getting. This ought to seal it.
Oh yeah. I hope so.
Although with these grave robbers. Now,
well, yeah, they're going to claim that they had damage over at their place in Naples.
Yeah, they got brain damage is what they have. Clarence was just in there mumbling a few illiterate things, and I just forgot to ask him about who's doing 2 to 4, because we had another. I didn't realize they had some kind of a problem in Philly, but Geldy was supposed to do 2 to 4 today because there's no Mo.
Yeah, well, as I said earlier in the show, there was a big sign at the airports that said, we are not allowing any planes to land here. This means you, Mo.
Absolutely.
There you go, Mo. Go again.
Not me.
Just like Ronald Reagan would say, there you go again. Wow.
Meanwhile, Neil,
well, he's not around anyway. He couldn't get back, I'm sure, and he did the Monday night game somewhere.
He was in Minneapolis.
Was he really?
He did the Vikings-Green Bay game on Sunday.
He was on Lake Minnetonka.
I see. Minnetonka, yeah. A good place for him.
Very good, Beast.
Well, he had a couple of good numbers in there on the.
Actually, he did okay.
Yeah, he did fine.
So everybody did okay.
The new and improved Mo. Now that he's got that new do and the new little goatee there, threw the muskrat out. He's doing just fine.
Yep. Too bad you can't see him.
Yeah,
that's correct.
I'm glad I can't see him. In fact, I'll never see him again.
Will we ever see you again? Will you ever come back here?
No, you'll have to come up here. I told you already. I'll meet you at Niagara Falls at Fallsview Casino or at Woodbine or somewhere. No, I'm not. I have to come back there every now and then, but I'm not to the station.
Probably have to come back to see your accountant or something.
I will not be coming back to the radio station ever again. You can take that right to the bank.
Okay, well, when you come back, Sid Levin and you and I will go out.
Yeah, I already told him that. Now, can I ask you a stupid question?
Sure.
Wouldn't you think that of all businesses that banks would have generators?
Yes.
Because,
people have to have cash.
The hospital, I would imagine, would be number one priority, and then the airport, which Fort Lauderdale is obviously not doing very well with FP&L. FP&L sucks, by the way, and also FEMA, okay? I just wanted to mention that. But you think that banks would have generators so that at the very least people could conduct the ATM business and make their deposits and get some cash out so they can survive and go to the few places where they can get some food and ice and whatever they need, and I don't think so.
I had a call earlier from a regular caller of mine, a guy named CJ, who's a very bright, funny guy who called up to tell us what's going on in the hood. And he said that, of course, it's no surprise to him that areas like Aventura, Miami Beach, Sunny Isles are getting their power back, but they're not.
Where the money is.
Yeah, exactly.
I already told the audience that. That's the truth. And, of course, probably some of the big shots from FP&L live in those areas, so that's the first place that gets restored, in spite of what they're going to tell everybody, because they lie a lot.
That's correct.
But anyway, you're right. Everybody's been doing a fine job, except it pisses me off that I gave out, and we all gave out some misinformation yesterday, not because we're all that inept, but because the government is inept, and so they had all these people getting really foaming at the mouth and pissed off, showing up, especially in Palm Beach County, showing up for their ice and water, and come to find out, oh, well, it's not going to be here today, or it hasn't arrived yet, or it's, come back 2 weeks from Sukkot or something like that, and a lot of angry people, which goes to show you that law that went into effect October 1st was not a good idea.
No, not at all.
No, because right now would be the time that you're going to see some people testing that law, oh, you don't cut in front of me for that gas, like that.
But
and then, of course, the fat-ass governor will come down and pat him on the back and say, good job.
But people are helping each other out, and hopefully that will continue.
Some. Yeah. Well, this is the one time that people in South Florida have to dispense with that hostile, surly, hate-your-neighbor attitude that's par for the course, and have to try to find a little bit of decency inside of them, which a lot of people can, and then there are those who it's just not their nature. You know what I mean?
He's not even here.
I didn't say anything. I heard a noise. Yeah, exactly. Oh, let's see. We got Bank Atlantic stores are now open. There's some bank stuff for you. Good. Thank you very much. And I got the addresses here.
Vac
I got so
Atlantic
many-
Arena is not doing very well.
No, that's because it's in Broward. Broward, I guess, really took a direct hit.
You know, one of the things that I think there'll be long-term problems about, and that is all these new buildings down in the Brickell area didn't make it through the storm.
Right,
And,
windows blown out.
And I'm wondering, because there are theories abounding that this was still a
Well, I heard you
Category
say
1.
tornadoes.
Yeah, the tornadoes caused it. And I'm wondering if the
I
weather
don't think
people
so.
were wrong.
I don't think so. There were no tornadoes in New Orleans during Katrina, and yet there were all those windows blown out
Yep.
like crazy.
Yes.
Oh, my phone is ringing.
Oh, wow.
That means either my bratwurst are here or the Boca Brian disc, which I don't think he's probably got one.
But it's the building codes, these new buildings, these places like the Four Seasons Hotel, JW
Yeah.
Marriott, had the windows blown out.
Mm-hmm.
And Brickell Avenue's a mess.
When you're talking about 125-mile-an-hour winds, I don't care what you say, but no matter how sturdily they're built and up to what standard and code,
They're supposed to survive those things. That's
Yeah.
what the building code says. And
well,
they
the World
didn't.
Trade Center was supposed to survive those hits that it took.
Well,
It
no,
was supposed
that was totally a different thing.
Was,
I mean,
no, but they.
Who
it
says
was
you're
not,
supposed to
those
survive
buildings
airplanes?
weren't supposed to fall. They
Air-
were not supposed to fall.
Airplanes flying into your building? I don't know. I don't think they planned for that.
Well, let's not find out.
No. Anyway,
I have a
how are things
listening-
in Toronto?
Everything's just fine. In fact, the sun's going to shine today. It's going to be 46, and then all the way up to 54 on Saturday. They got that, the big sun symbol for the next 4 or 5 days. The only bad thing I got for you, because I checked the Florida weather, is that while it's very nice now, it's going to start warming up into the 80s starting tomorrow for the next several days, 83, 84, which isn't, it's not 90, but when you have no AC and no power, it's going to start getting people a little on the testy side. I think you had the right idea. Granted, you got a place to go after Tampa, but if you should go to Tampa and then fly out to Tulsa, wherever you have to go, some of the people out there who don't have to work or, because how many people are going to be working? Most places are going to be closed.
Right.
They ought to hightail it, go to MIA, or maybe even get a limo to take them to Orlando or Tampa, and they can go find all the ATMs they need and all the food and.
Assuming they can find limos that have gas.
Yeah.
So.
Well, George told me quite a story about his hunt for gas in a can, to keep his generator going this morning, and that was not a pleasant situation.
No. Well, people are testing those gas lines.
In all the lines. And then, of course, the Dave & Buster's thing over there with the ice and water, and they won't let people come in from Sterling Road. You have to come in on Sheridan, and the people are lined up all the way into the Everglades. It's not good.
No. Good time to
Now,
get out if you can.
What I don't understand, because there's a lot of Publix and Winn-Dixie's open, which we've been giving those addresses and will continue to do that, but... And actually, because people are like lunatics, even before the storm, they always go in and clear out all the ice and the water. Those are two of the first things they clear out. But you'd think that there would be truckloads and truckloads of that stuff coming in, wouldn't you?
You would think.
You would think.
By the way,
I'm going to
almost...
tell you, FEMA, why we would expect FEMA to be any better now in spite of all the baloney about, well, we're prepared for Wilma. The fat-ass governor was saying that, and this new temporary FEMA director, as the thing was coming in, we're prepared for this, and we won't repeat the mistakes. They're just as incompetent now as they were before. They're pathetic.
Incidentally, I think almost all of the Winn-Dixies are open now, and most of the Publix.
Yeah. So. The only problem is they got to get the supplies in.
But all you can get there is perishable items.
Right.
So it's tough.
Well, I go and get a lot of canned goods, a lot of prunes. Well, not prunes probably, because if your electric's not working, that's not going to be flushing either. So.
Okay.
Yeah, it's something to think about. Be kind of selective in the foods you get there.
Yeah, you're right.
Maybe applesauce would be good. Something soft that you can gum,
Jell-O.
Jell-O would be excellent. Very good idea. Diet Jell-O.
Yep.
Lime Diet Jell-O. And if they can't get it at Publix, they can always go to the cafeteria at the hospitals that are got their cafeterias open.
The University of Miami is open.
Yeah.
No, they have power. They're not open.
Oh, and you know something?
Yeah.
I probably shouldn't say this because I don't want to spur a whole. But Miami International, not only is the airport open, but also the all the restaurants in there.
Oh.
Yeah.
So even though you may not be traveling anywhere, like they got a Cazoli's in
don't
there.
start that. I got to catch a plane tomorrow.
They got a lot.
Do you mind?
Well, no, but it's something to think about. People are desperate to try to find places where they can find some food.
Well, I bet the hotel here is open.
What hotel is that?
There's an airport hotel.
Oh, at the airport, you mean?
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Miami Beach, I think Sunny Isles is now with power, so...
And South Beach, parts of South Beach.
from 50th Street South.
Right.
So the hotels are functioning, and they all have food. They were running a crawl on one of the television stations yesterday that was listing the hotels with the restaurants being open, so there are places to go.
And also, today is the day that, according to ABC News, the indictments are going to be handed out in plain gates, so we'll be on the edge of our seat waiting for that.
You know what was the best? I checked into a hotel last night. I got up this morning, and there was a USA Today on my door.
Yeah.
I hadn't seen a newspaper in 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you just really, I mean, without information, it may seem trivial, but you're really cut off.
Yeah.
So.
Well, of course.
Yep.
That's why we're doing such a tremendous public service and probably all deserve a big fat bonus when this whole thing blows over.
That was the beast. That was the beast sounding somewhat skeptical.
Hey,
well, I doubt it,
they threw a big party.
The thing came in through Naples anyway, so probably Beasley corporate headquarters have been blown off the face of the globe.
That's right. They can't afford it.
And of course, if it took Joyce with them, then we can all say, yeah, hallelujah.
All right,
I heard you say something about your friend with the funeral parlors. Maybe we can make arrangements for Joyce. I will come back for that. I would dance. I would do a Kazatsky on her grave.
It's 10:10 on Sports Radio 560 QAM. I'm out of here.
Have a safe trip.
Pat Valenzuela heading west.
Okay, see you, P-Val.
All right.
I'm dying over here.
The federal government just learned about those people today.
Under withering criticism from both parties, Brown offered no apology and mostly blamed others for the debacle that cost hundreds of lives.
Mike Brown, there's no one left to blame. I said, Brownie, you're the government shame. I said, Brownie, 'cause your career's up in flame. There's no one I know who's more lame. George Bush, you'd better make him shut up before he says it was you who messed up. You can defend him, but I'm sure you will find many think that he should do time.
I was just tired of misspelling.
He's way too dumb to run the FEMA. Some people died when he ran FEMA. Now that everyone knows that your leadership blows, you can go back to your horse shows.
Today, both Republicans and Democrats criticize the fact that Brown is still on the federal payroll. That may be because as long as he remains an administration official, his testimony must be cleared by the White House.
It's only $147 grand. What are you complaining about? Anyway, it's 12 minutes after 10. Good luck to all of you because it sounds to me like you're going to need it. We're just going to pass along as much information as possible. I do have a few of my bedtime stories, including a Maureen Dowd's column because you can't read your newspaper and you can't go online. But we'll give all, and hopefully the information we give out will be accurate.
Speaking of that, we just got a news flash.
Yes?
The Postal Service will be up and running as best as possible today, and will be delivering mail where they can, when they can.
All right, excellent. See, I told you, didn't I say that yesterday? Through hurricanes and snow and rain and sleet and hot sunny skies, your postal carriers always come through for you, which basically means your bills are going to be coming in.
Yeah, well.
Who the hell wants their mail anyway right now?
Hey, if it comes with a can of gas, I'll take 3.
What is it?
If it comes with a can of gas, I'll take 3.
There you go. Well, we'll get into that whole thing about the gas and the ice. We're not going to be taking any calls because we have a technical glitch on this show anyway.
Yeah.
But you can call and talk to Josh, who did a fabulous job yesterday. I understand what he told me. He did a great job. Isn't that what you said?
He did a great job.
Oh, excellent. Because he'll, mainly we want to get the calls from people who might have some information to pass along, like open gas stations or supermarkets or well, whatever. That would be good. Especially the food thing. Now, you guys didn't get any food yesterday. Whatever happened with the Doughboys?
I don't dough.
Where's the Doughboys?
Yeah, they just called and used us, and that was it.
And that was the end of it. Well, they probably got so swamped before you get so cynical and hostile now. They probably got so swamped.
Sorry, I showed up here hostile this morning.
Yeah, I can't imagine why. Okay, now listen. I want to do the break, but before that, as of now, the following Bank Atlantic locations are now open. I better do the break first, okay? Because I don't want to rush through this, because people need cash. Of course, I don't know where you're going to spend the cash, but...
Yeah.
Right?
Right, I got cash.
Do you?
For gas.
Listen, if you can't find a bank that's open nearby you, stop by the station in Georgia.
Sure, I'll just dole it out.
This is Neil Rogers.
The sky is falling.
I got a story to tell. Ideas, his similes so deeply. Deaf poetry.
Yo, what's up, y'all? It's Russell Simmer. Welcome to Deaf Poetry. Today, our first ever head-to-head matchup. Lou Ferrigno vs. Marley Matlin.
Now let's see what you got.
Bravo! Bravo! Encore! Encore!
Okay, calm down. 10:17 at 560 WQAM. At least it's nice and dry here, and the sun is going to be cracking out here today in Toronto. It's going to be just fine. No hurricanes, no tornadoes, no terrorist attacks yet. Although yesterday morning they had an alert at Union Station, and it turned out to be another one of those duds. But they're saying, oh, yeah, something's going to happen here. It's not a question of if, it's a question of when. You can't escape it. I'll tell you a good place to go.
Yeah, what, Vegas?
Geneva, New York. There will be no terrorist attacks in Geneva. Maybe Ypsilanti, Michigan would be a good place.
Right.
Okay, before we get into all these lists and all this stuff, because that, it's not going to be very sexy or exciting, but I guess that's the best we can do for the next couple of days, or maybe beyond that, is give you some information and hope that it's right. But the poll, we'll leave the same poll up there for till at least the end of the week, because not that many people can get online, because not that many people have power. And the people, out of state listening in other places, well, the price is right, it's free, keep listening, but a lot of this is going to be a little on the parochial side. Too bad. At any rate, the only other thing before I start with these lists, indictments in CIA leak case about to be handed down. Said the Financial Times, and also ABC News last night was reporting this. Oh, a suicide attack, at least 4 killed in Hadera in Israel. The road map's a little rocky over there, another suicide bombing. Big deal. Indictments in the CIA leak investigation case expected to be handed down by a grand jury today, bringing to a head the criminal inquiry that threatens to disrupt seriously George Bush's second term. On Tuesday night, last night, news reports supported by a source close to the lawyers involved in the case said that target letters to those facing indictment were being issued, with sealed indictments to be filed today and released by the end of the week. Those in legal jeopardy may include Scooter Libby and Karl Rove. Mr. Cheney himself has also been linked to the inquiry and the leaking of the name of an undercover CIA operative, according to yesterday's New York Times story that I read to you. I don't feel guilty reading newspapers to people now because they can't get one. Patrick Fitzgerald, special prosecutor, has said he would announce any conclusion to his 22-month investigation in Washington. So we're going to keep our eyes peeled on it, right?
Right.
You're going to be peeling it.
Well, I can pick up Channel 7, so.
Well, that's good. I can pick them all up. Not your channels, though.
Story of...
There's Mrs. Limbaugh. Hey, pop a couple more, couple oxys, honey. As of today, the Bank Atlantic stores are open in these locations. Dade County, at Doral, 8705 Northwest 35th Lane. South Miami, 6202 South Dixie Highway. Flagler, 7900 West Flagler Street. Kendale Lakes, 8701 Southwest 137th Ave. Hialeah, 1455 West 49th Street. Kendall, 1400 North Kendall Drive. 1 Biscayne at 2 South Biscayne Boulevard. Isn't that interesting? It's called 1 Biscayne, but it's at 2 South Biscayne.
Huh.
Brickell, 1101 Brickell Avenue. In Broward, you'll find Bank Atlantic open at North Coral Springs, 4695 North University Drive. South Pembroke, 1200 Pines Boulevard. Jacaranda, 1901 North Pine Island Road. Mainlands, I have no idea what that is or where that is. 4211 West Commercial Boulevard in the mobile ATM van. You know where Mainlands is?
No.
Well, let's go to the mainland. Palm Beach, Andros, 8961 Okeechobee Boulevard. PGA, 7102 Fairway Drive. Abacoa, 5450 South Central Boulevard. Downtown Boca, 701 North Federal Highway. Glades, 6100 Glades Road. Port St. Lucie at 147 Southwest Port St. Lucie Boulevard. At Fort Pierce, 1050 Virginia Avenue. And Port Salerno at 5545 Southeast Federal Highway. All of those Bank Atlantic stores, banks, are open now as I speak. So go to the ATM and get a bunch of cash out.
Good luck.
And then where you're going to spend it, I have no idea, but at least it's always comforting to have a big wad in your pocket. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Trucks carrying precious ice and water to Dade and Broward distribution centers showed up hours later, not at all, yesterday, keeping thousands of hurricane-weary residents waiting and pissed off and fired up, and rightfully so. You have a right to be PO'd. Because once again, with all the taxes that they extract from your wallet, man, expecting service from FEMA and from all the other government agencies and your fat-ass governor who sure talks a good game, forget about it. Supplies never even got to Broward's Plantation Heritage Park. As of last night, 2 other Broward locations still lacked ice and water. Broward County officials said all distribution centers will be stocked and open as of 9 o'clock this morning, so they should be now, Broward County officials said. Reports that trucks were on the way to several locations yesterday morning sparked miles-long lines. This is total chaos, said Judith Morris, 65, who stood for more than 6 hours in a parking lot at Miramar City Hall. This is New Orleans, Florida. And I'm going to tell you that thing, the looters out there, the people that are looting, there's no excuse for that.
Especially now.
This is not New Orleans, because unlike New Orleans, the city isn't underwater. We didn't have much flooding from this one because it zipped through real fast.
Right.
And there are plenty of places, well, not plenty, but there are places where you can find hotels, restaurants open, and now we're giving you plenty of bank locations to go to and get your cash out. So no excuse for people looting. They will be shot on sight. That's not any official announcement. That's just my opinion. Should be shot on sight.
Oh, they got that new law now.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Feel real threatened.
State emergency vehicles loaded with water and destined for South Florida idled during the day at the Palm Beach County Fairgrounds, said Robert Lincoln of the Florida Division of Emergency Management. The drivers needed to gas up, but state officials couldn't reach them with instructions by cell phone. He said the delay was the longest Florida hurricane victims have had to wait for supplies. I apologize for the delay, Lincoln said. That's the nature of disasters. Yeah, we're not talking about the hurricane. We're talking about FEMA when you're talking about disasters. They are a disaster happening right before your eyes. Broward Mayor Kristen Jacobs said yesterday that FHP troopers were escorting the truck south. The state made promises they couldn't keep, she said. I'm very frustrated and highly unhappy. She's pissed off and fired up, and rightfully so. You go, Kristen. The state is responsible for shipping ice and water from Palm Beach County to Homestead. The FEMA is supposed to provide additional supplies where they're needed. Dade County Mayor Carlos Alvarez acknowledged there were kinks to be worked out, but explained that Tuesday was the first day of a complicated process.
It's the
been a logistical challenge, he said. Sounds like a cop-out to me, Carlos. And by the way, I wonder which one of the kinks he is. Maybe he's Lola. Those challenges included debris in the road, which slowed trucks considerably, but Alvarez promised things would go smoother today at the county's distribution sites. More trucks are on their way from Jacksonville with supplies, he added. School supplies. At Markham Park in Sunrise, cars were backed up for more than 2 miles in 2 different directions, and about 100 others arrived on foot or by bike. Some shook their empty coolers at TV helicopters hovering overhead. National Guard troops carrying M16s guarded the gates. They had rifles, but no water or information about when it would arrive. They should have been here first thing in the morning, said John Needham, 48 at Plantation. You go, John. At least 1,000 cars were lined up outside Miramar City Hall. Residents were furious at police for dismantling a first-come, first-served system that they had devised to keep order. Officers told a group that had been waiting in the parking lot for hours to get to the back of the line. Once the police changed the plan, there was total chaos, said Susie Feliciano. Nobody told us anything. They just said, life is tough. How do you like that? Life is tough, my ass.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
There was also confusion at some other sites where the residents were required to arrive by car. Well, what if you didn't have gas for your car, huh?
Well, that happened to me this morning. I walked up with my gas canisters. No walk-ups.
And what about the ATMs of these banks that are open? Are they going to say, oh, sorry, no walk-ups at the ATM?
I'm thinking, no walk-up based on what? My money is green. I got the cans right here.
Yeah.
What, my car is full. I don't need gas in that.
I'd stick your foot out and say, walk up to this.
I will remember these people.
Good. Don't want to mention Hess.
No, don't.
Remember Rudolph Hess?
Yes.
At Tamiami Park in Dayton Plantation Heritage Park, walkers were told they couldn't get ice and water, see?
Mm-hmm.
Walkers.
Yeah.
That made no sense to people who were trying to conserve gas or couldn't use their cars.
Duh.
Not fair. I have a tree blocking my car, said Myrta Cervantes of Sweetwater. Even when there was no word on when, if ever, the trucks would arrive, people continued waiting and waiting and waiting. I've got nothing to lose, said Patty Carlin, 39 of Weston. I've got no power at home, so I might as well sit here, where I'll be safe. Water and MREs, no ice, finally arrived at Holiday Park in Fort Lauderdale last night, provided by FEMA and distributed by volunteers. It was frustrating. We saw people in line in need. We knew what they needed, but we couldn't get it to them, said volunteer Thorny Jarrett, president of the Victoria Park. Just move along. Civic Association. Thorny rhymes with horny. Simply, a supply truck driver said Tuesday they weren't sure whether more distributions were scheduled for Holiday Park today. See, this is the problem giving information out, is we're trying to give useful stuff out to you. But, and I think I'll print out this list of Winn-Dixie and Publixes and Home Depots again that are open.
All right.
I probably Schmidt-canned it from yesterday, but I'll do that again. Supply truck driver said yesterday they weren't sure whether more distributions were scheduled for Holiday Park today, like I just got through saying. City Miami spokeswoman Kelly Penton said the city-coordinated Orange Bowl site had its share of logistical hiccups, such as the first hour providing water but no ice, but had overall performed pretty well. Penton said relief trucks bringing items to the Orange Bowl were dealing with the same debris-ridden roads facing the public. Spotty telephone service made coordinating challenging, Penton said. See, this is a good reason to have your Blackberries. Although
right.
I guess if a lot of cell phones aren't working, the Blackberries wouldn't either, because you can't find a thing.
Right, a signal.
A working signal, right. But it's always better to have one, though. Everybody go out there and get a Blackberry, please. Pick them right off the tree in George's backyard.
Yeah.
27 past 10 at 560 WQAM. American Residential Lending wants to make your life a little bit easier. The way things are going right now, that's a good idea. With over 20 years' experience, ARL offers custom loan programs that fit your situation. Whether it's the wife nagging you to remodel the kitchen, or you're looking to put a pool in the backyard, or just looking to wipe out mountains of credit card debt, American Residential Lending can get it done for you. Call Nelson Yakora at American Residential Lending. They've got more than 2 decades experience in the mortgage business and access to more than 100 wholesale lenders. ARL can cut your current mortgage payment by up to $500, handle your refinancing to generate some quick cash, or even do a home equity loan. And they do it with personalized service and a program that's made specifically and especially for you. Remember that song? Plus, when they close a loan with you, they'll give you a free 7-day Caribbean cruise to help you celebrate. You can't beat that deal anywhere. So call American Residential Lending today or whenever you get your phone service back at 866-MOVE-ARL and tell them that old Neil told you to call. That's 1-866-668-3275.
This is Neil Rogers. This is 560 QAM.
It's me again, Bob. Douche when you're done.
Following is a test of the FEMA alert system. This is only a test.
Huh? What happened? Where?
This was only a test. If it had been an actual emergency, you would have received instructions from FEMA within 4 or 5 days, give or take.
At best. 27 to 11 o'clock. Now, let me ask you this. What's the situation with the gas? Do we have any additional gas stations? Or do we have some that have been deleted because they ran out of gas? What's the story?
I don't know. As a matter of fact, I didn't get
I guess
the list.
I'm asking the wrong person.
The only updated list I have is I have a BP west of Palmetto and 58th. I got a BP and a Sunco on Sterling and Palm. I got a BP on 120th and Coral Way, and a Citco on 37th Ave on the Palmetto. That's the only gas that I have. I do have stuff to report if you want.
Yes.
Okay. I got if you're going to the Dave & Buster's to pick up supplies, I guess they're giving out water and ice. You have to get off at Sheridan.
They won't let you come in from Sterling, so forget about Sterling.
So if you're headed there, make sure you get off at Sheridan. Something funny, at Pembroke Park, a guy called in and said they have a sign up that says, "You loot, we shoot."
Excellent.
So that's always good. A guy called and said on the news they're saying Treetop Park was supposed to open at 9 a.m. to give out water and ice, and they have not opened the gates yet. That's on Nob Hill and Davie, so if anybody was planning on going there, I guess don't. And also a guy from UPS called and said he is delivering, and everybody get in because they're going to businesses and nobody's there. But UPS has started to deliver again.
Excellent. UPS and the mail in that order, man. They're the best. I love UPS. So what are we going to do about the gas station list we had from yesterday? I'm a little bit leery of having
the chicken scratches we had. I don't know.
Oh, you don't have that no more?
Who knows where that went? No, we left it for the following people.
I see. Maybe we leave it for the following people today. Of course, we don't know who the following people are going to be. It's only 10:35. Why should we worry about who's going to be doing the Mo show today from 2 to 4? Because it ain't going to be Gildy. By the way, the Panther game Saturday at the Mac Arena has been canceled, been postponed. No game. They won last night overtime in Pittsburgh 4-3. Stephen Weiss, my personal hero, scored a winning goal. Nice going, Stevie. But anyway, we got Mad Dog at 4, Hurricane Hotline at 7 from Bernie Kosar's Steakhouse in South Miami. It says, now, I don't know about that because I guess if we are going to be doing it, then they must have power, right? See, these are little things that would be nice to know to fill in the blanks on. I'm sure that Clarence is really overwhelmed, especially with Muff out on vacation, but it would be nice to find out from somebody. Well, Hurricane Hotline's on from somewhere.
Hurricane Hotline will be on from here, and Mo will be on from here.
Mo will be on from
here. By
Mo,
I mean Howard, because, you know.
Yeah?
Yeah, here.
I see. Well, that means Mo got back. That's excellent news. Good numbers there, Mo, by the way, in that book. Nice going. The new improved Mo. 2 to 4. Then Mad Dog and Hurricane Hotline. The World Series from ESPN Radio 9. Too bad about that 8 million hour game last night. I was hoping Houston would finally win a World Series game, and they had a nice lead, but that's the way it goes. Eddie K after the World Series. So here's that list. Boy, I feel like a list reader right now. I feel somewhat useless, you know. Can't take any calls. But, Josh, like I said, you can call all you want and give some information, because right there's a good example. Josh putting some good stuff out.
I have one more good piece of info. A lady who I guess is a neighbor or a couple houses down from you called and said she owns a Jacaranda Pizza on Broward Boulevard between Pine Island and University, and they're open.
Very well, yeah.
And they're open.
Excellent.
By the way, she said your house, not too bad.
Well, what does that mean? Not too bad.
Your neighbors are all walking
just
through
a couple
your yard.
of trees down. You know how that goes.
Oh, I see.
But
thank you so much. Yeah, she's a sweetheart. She lives a couple of doors. She does bug the hell out of me, but she's very nice.
Yeah, so on Broward Boulevard between Pine Island and University, that's
Jacaranda Pizza. They got good stuff over there, and they are open. Oh! All right, thank you, excellent. I just go over and sit in front of my house and with a shotgun. Oh, man, what a deal. Anyway, Fort Lauderdale Airport, see, I don't want to put this in the context of if it can't get the airport hooked back up, then what are the odds for the rest of you poor bastards in Broward? You know what I'm saying? Not looking really good. But Fort Lauderdale is still closed, the airport. Miami is up and running, and obviously not all the flights, so check with the airline and check with the airport, but starting to come back not too bad. And like I said to Hank, if you're anywhere in that area over by where the airport is, and you're desperate to find a place for food, they do have the terminal is open. The main terminal is open there at Miami International, so you can go in there and, Cazzoli's is always fine, right?
Right.
They do need an oil change, but I like Cazzoli's a lot. And then Jacaranda Pizza's open there in the Plantation. So we'll find more and more as we... it's just amazing to me. And I don't want to say we told you so last week, but boy, I wasn't gonna get caught with my microphone down last week. Didn't I lean on it pretty heavy duty?
Yes, you did.
And I said, go and do it. Do your thing. Get your plywood and get your water and your supplies and your batteries and your little transistor sister, because this could be a real and it was. And then they were saying, well, it's only going to be a Category 1, and then come to find out it strengthened to a 3, and it really blew the crap out of Broward and a lot of Dade, Palm Beach, etc. Anyway, here's the list of Winn-Dixie, Publix, and Home Depots that are open. And this is as of yesterday. You know, I'll tell you, the Herald is, although this is from the Herald, but the Herald's doing a much better job on their website, which is very unusual because their website blows, and the Sun Sentinel usually blows them away. But the Sun Sentinel website really pissed me off this morning because they still have the same list of stuff that they had yesterday. You know, where to find this and where to find that and nice. And they have the same list on there from yesterday. Well, that's no good because we know that some of those places didn't pan out anyway. So you'd think that they would have been reworking that, but they're a little slow, just like our people there. So we don't have Bernie Kosar. Let me cross that out. We got Mo. Thank God the Mo Man is back.
Absolutely.
To celebrate his good numbers in it. I think he had a 4 point.
Oh.
What do you have in those 2 hours? 4 and 3.9 or something like that. Did good. Nice going, Mo. We knew you could do it. They're starting to warm up to you a little bit. Take some time. It takes a few years, but you warm up to them. Anyway, here's the deal. Winn-Dixie open in Hialeah, 6500 West 4th Avenue. And I still say, like I told you before the show, I don't understand. I know there's debris in the roads and the trucks are slowed down, the communications is difficult, but it would seem to me that truckloads of ice and supplies ought to be coming in. Am I wrong about that?
No.
I know how the way these people go and cherry-pick the shelves clean. I mean, I understand that, and you're talking millions of people who are in desperate need of this stuff, but nevertheless. 6500 West 4th Avenue in Hialeah, 5850 Northwest 183rd Miami, Winn-Dixie open, 3890 West 18th Avenue in Hialeah, 1201 East 10th Avenue in Hialeah, 948 Southwest 67th Avenue Miami, 14655 Southwest 104th Street Miami, West 48th Street and 16th Ave Hialeah. Home Depot, most Home Depots are open, powered by generators, and most Publixes are open as of yesterday morning from south of Boca to Pembroke Pines, with some exceptions. If you want info about stores in your community, call 1-800-242-1227. 1-800-242-1227 if you want to find out if your Publix is open. Okay?
Okay.
Boy, a lot of heavy-duty pressure, man. I'll give you the numbers on FP&L. They're not good. Better in Dade County than Broward. Broward just a disaster. Very few people got their power back in Broward. So kiss the ground there at Jacaranda Pizza. Tell them that Neil sent you by and they'll only charge you double, okay, over there at Jacaranda Pizza. They got good stuff. They're nice people. Okay, 19 till 11 at 560 WQM.
Jim Mandich, I f***ed him. Oh!
Hey everybody, I'm Brownie Brown, accountable for everybody drowned and drowned. As a human being, I'm a big disappointment, but I got a brown nose and I knows where to point it. There was no rush to get them saved. They don't vote Republican anyway. I did everything I possibly can to show my support for the Ku Klux Klan. Oh, what a job I had as director of FEMA, when I ain't much more than a weaselly schemer and a clueless son of a bitch.
Absolutely.
Gets his gigs, brown nose in the rich. Gets his gigs, brown nose in the rich. New Orleans is wiped out and gone, but W said I did one heck of a job, and it sure pays off to be a crony in another white pasty Christian phony. The National Guard is down there now, with orders just to get the press out of town. Everybody go home, there's nothing to see. Everything here is peachy keen. Oh, the hurricane gave us the big easy for neocon social engineering like a giant Republican squeegee. Praise Jesus Bush, our Lord and King. Praise Jesus Bush, our Lord and King. I don't believe compassion's what we lack. It serves the right to hapless blacks, and you dissenters who say it's a national disgrace. They shouldn't have been black in the first place. This is no time to play the blame game, since we know that hurricanes are caused by gays who are not the right kind of homo. Like Scotty McClellan and Karl Rove, oh, we're achieving the American right-wing dream to make everybody white like me, and an ignorant son of a bitch who gets his job ground goes in the rich. Oh, how I miss petting my Arabian horses. I'd rather do that than watch floating corpses. I'm a negligent murderer now, and I'll keep going down to keep my nose brown. I'm a negligent murderer now.
You fairy.
I'll keep going down to keep my nose brown.
Okay, 10:47. We got the Momeister back at 2 this afternoon. A little semblance of normalcy in our lineup again. Mad Dog at 4, and then stuff that nobody cares about. Okay, let's see. We got some locations where the roads are blocked. 5 major Broward intersections blocked by power lines. So, motorists, govern yourselves accordingly. Take alternate routes. Avoid these like the plague. The following intersections are blocked according to Lee Billingsley, County spokesman. Commercial Boulevard at Prospect Road. Northwest 31st Avenue and Prospect Road. Hillsborough Boulevard from Locks Road to State Road 7. Locks Road?
Okay.
Is that correct, or is that Loxahatchee? Is there really a place called Locks Road?
Yeah.
Oi!
You got to be kidding me.
No.
Is that near the deli den?
It should
Northwest 21st Avenue from Oakland Park Boulevard to Northwest 19th Street is blocked, and Andrews Avenue from 13th Street to Oakland Park Boulevard, forget about it. So take alternate routes, okay? I'll put a pile of stuff that needs to be repeated over and over and over again. Don't forget our number, 5670560 and pound 560 on the Verizon Singular Wireless line. You'll talk to Josh, you'll give him some information, and we'll pass it along, hopefully. Right?
Right.
That was good info about the restaurant there. What is it? Jacaranda Pizza. That was good info. You can go in there and get like a sub, a hoagie, a couple of 10, 20 pizzas, bring them by the station for George and Josh. Nobody brought pizza yesterday, Doughboys.
No, or gas.
Nobody brought any gas. Sure be nice if somebody bring a nice 5-gallon can of gas. George would pay at least $100 for it. $20. They'll give it going right in a little something on the side.
Something.
So we can get that generator. Are you out of gas in the generator or right on the edge?
Yeah, no, we're out. We're out as of this morning. And we had some. We had, what we thought was a goodly supply, and there it went.
Yeah. So George is in desperate need of gas for his generator, not for his vehicle. He's doing okay there. But and the bad news is, unlike the old days when you could siphon gas out, now we've got siphon-proof vehicles.
When did that happen, and why didn't they tell me?
Yeah.
Before I cut up my garden hose.
Don't cut up your hose.
Hey, I stuck everything tubular into that tank, and still nothing.
Cube!
95% of Broward still without power. Here's the latest update as of 9 o'clock this morning. I was going to give these stats from 6 a.m., but now they're really on top of it. And at this rate, let's see, by the year 2525, everybody should be okay. FP&L reports that as of 9 o'clock this morning, 839,200 customers are still without power in Broward. That's 95%. So far in Broward, 23,600 customers have had their power restored. So let me take a look. I have that list. Here it is. Now, the 6 a.m. number, so let's see, between 6 and 9, that means that they increased about 11,000 in 3 hours. So at that rate, let's see. That's bad. Don't do that. Don't let me do that.
Don't do that.
In Dade County, as of 6 this morning, there were 105,600 restored, way more than in Broward, out of 850,900. About the same number in Broward and Dade equally lost power, a little over 850,000, but 105,600 in Dade have been restored as of 6, so that's probably over 110,000 now, whereas Broward's dawdling with 23,000. And there's a reason for that. You do know the reason.
No, what?
Well, in Broward, they had all those FP&L substations just blown to bits.
Yes. I saw it.
At any rate, in Palm Beach County, 631,000 people lost power, and they got 32,400 restored as of 6 a.m. Not very good, but better than... Yeah, that's in Palm Beach. Yeah, here's the story on the substations. Hurricane Wilma did massive damage to Florida Power & Light's electricity supply system, knocking out 240 substations trashing the major transmission lines that deliver electric to customers. That makes Wilma a far more destructive hurricane than Katrina. This time, because of the damage to its substations and transmission lines, FP&L executives say may take up to 2 weeks for more than half of its 3 million powerless customers to get electricity back. It could be 3 weeks to get 95% back to power, and 4 weeks for everybody to get restored. 4 weeks. Following that?
Yeah.
Take up to 3 weeks to get 95% back, 2 weeks to get more than half back, so it all depends on where you are. For reasons that are still unclear, Wilma knocked out 240 substations, each of which serves 10,000 to 30,000 customers, as well as high-power transmission lines and poles. We experienced very severe damage to our infrastructure, said FPL Vice President Geisha Williams, the Geisha girl from FP&L. The worst destruction occurred in Broward and southern Palm Beach counties. At one point, all the substations in Broward were knocked out, essentially darkening. The whole county was in the dark. Of course, we've been told that before.
Yeah.
This was a far worse infrastructure hit than FP&L experienced last year during Charlie, Francis, and Jeannie, or this year during Katrina. One reason was the broad swath of the hurricane with strong winds spread up across 180 miles an hour. Across 180 miles. Another reason was that Wilma reached Category 2 or 3 in some parts of the utility's territory, a lot stronger than Katrina's 1. Williams reported that surveyors frequently reported they've seen poles snapped in half. Flying debris appeared to be the reason for many of the knocked-out substations, but Olivera said that didn't explain all the damage to the substations, which are combinations of lines and equipment, much of which is exposed to the elements. Frankly, it's not 100% clear to us why those facilities took a lot of damage, he said. It's going to take weeks and months to figure out why. Well, we don't care why. We just want it back, that's all. And not that we want to be surly about it. Right. We don't want to know the whys and wherefores. We have plenty of time to figure that out lately and point a lot of fingers and scream about Brownie Brown, and you're doing a heck of a job. Just get it back on, please. Yeah. Thank you.
Now would be good.
Now would be, maybe a half an hour ago would be even better. Williams said 40 substations have already been brought back to power, but each substation must undergo an arduous restart process in which every element and circuit is checked before the unit's brought back online. Then, every feeder leading from the substation must be checked, and after that, workers must examine the transformer that reduces voltage once again and distributes power to homes. Olivera said the utility is being cautious in promises for restoration. These estimates are based on a really incomplete assessment, he said, because less than 24 hours had passed since Wilma cleared the area. Helicopter crews were still examining major transmission lines yesterday afternoon. County-by-county estimates could be available today. Neighborhood forecasts might come later in the week. FP&L, I should mention, by the way, that Hydro Ontario, that there are a whole bunch of workers that Hydro Ontario sent, which FP&L is paying for it, of course, but from right here in Ontario, sending down to Palm Beach County to help them restore power. How do you like that?
All right. Well, thank you.
That's the good work from us folks here in Ontario, eh? Good Canadian boys. You go do a good job, and go Leafs go. FP&L said it had about 6,000 workers in the field and was bringing another 3,000 before Sunday from states around the country. They didn't mention, of course, Ontario because they're anti-Canadian. Officials said they expected all hospitals to have power back by the end of Tuesday, as well as Port Everglades, the crucial entrance point for much of the region's gas for cars. Let me just read that again. Officials said they expected to have all hospitals power back by the end of the day yesterday, as well as Port Everglades, the crucial entry point for much of the region's gas for your cars. And Miami International, well, we'll get to the airport. We know Miami International is running. At 8 o'clock last night, about 412,700 of the 3.2 million customers statewide who had lost power had been restored, FP&L said. And in Broward, we know. Not good. Let's see. In Dade, they're saying 86,000 restored. I got so many sheets of paper here, I can't. This is worse than when the ratings come out. This is worse than elections. Now, in Dade now, it's over 105,000 restored. They're doing a pretty damn good job in Dade. I guess they didn't have the substation damage in Dade that they did in Broward.
I reckon not.
Not being an expert in that, in these areas, just talking off my ass, but nevertheless. What else are we going to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
Got a lot of that to do for the next few days. Pop, 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 like that.
Talk through our ass.
Yeah. I'm not going to give you the poll result because, what do you fear most? That's the same poll from yesterday, you'll notice, and you won't notice because you don't have any power. So I'll read that once during the show, and then it'll just stay there for a while. Not that we're trying to be lazy or, there's just no point to it.
Right.
I mean, yesterday to give you an example, yesterday on our website, and Josh is still continuing to put those stories on there. I have no idea why. I guess because I'm sending him too many. He feels compelled. Well, it's something to do anyway.
Right.
Feels that he's getting that big raise coming, so he might as well work his ass off right now. Any good calls with any info yet?
We got great info. Good. Thanks for asking. Okay, here we go. We got 2 gas stations in Coral Springs that opened. These are only walk-up, just like pretty much every other gas station. One on Wiles.
Except for Hess.
Right. One on Wiles between 441.
Don't start nitpicking with the brand names again. Okay, I'm sorry. Wiles between where?
441 and Riverside.
Okay.
There's also one. There's a Sunoco on Sample.
Sunoco,
like I said, on Sample and Riverside.
Okay.
So There's also 2 Domino's that opened up. One of them is 400 East Oakland Park in Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah. Hey, let's not go getting into brand names.
No, I'm sorry.
Right. There's another pizza place open, 3416 North Ocean Boulevard, north of Oakland Park, it says.
Excellent.
So,
well, it looks like pizza for lunch and for dinner and for snacks in between is what it looks like.
There you go.
Excellent, thank you. I think we're doing a hell of a job, if you ask me, considering the fact that I'm 1,200 miles away and that you guys are sitting in sweltering conditions.
Yeah.
Although you can't look out the window. Now, that studio does have a window, right?
The one where Josh is. I'm still in the old studio, but Josh is in the control room. He can look out the window.
I beg your pardon?
Well, we
so
can't
in other words, you're sitting like, wait, well, why is that?
Well, because...
We can't play spots. The computer in there is messed up.
No, but I mean, why do you want to be in the old studio? I thought it was real hot in there.
It's hot everywhere, first of all, and second of all, I like it in here better than in there.
I don't blame you. You might catch some cooties in there or something. You might wake up in the morning and all of a sudden start looking at the morning line odds on all the ball games. Don't forget the Panther game Saturday at the Mac Arena. Forget about it. Not going to happen. It's been postponed. Now, they could have played the one last Saturday, but I guess they were afraid nobody would have shown up, especially for Ottawa, although Ottawa's hot, but nevertheless. And they got Marty Havlat.
This is the Neil Rogers Show. This is your brain. Any questions?
This is one of the weakest, most baseless indictments in American history. It's a charge that cannot hold up even under the most glancing scrutiny.
Way down in that D.C. town, the first thing they said was, Tom, it's not allowed. Funneling campaign finances, we've heard enough, but you still think you're innocent, we call your bluff. Poor old Tom DeLay, it was that guy Tom DeLay who set the corporate donations to the candidates. If convicted, they will lock poor Tom away. Got in a little Washington jam, now there's trouble for the House majority leader man. Grand jury got Tom DeLay's butt dead, gave him an indictment when they found his plans. Poor old Tom DeLay, it was that guy Tom DeLay who just proved that in our government the crime don't pay. So now, what you gonna say, Tom DeLay?
I have done nothing wrong. I have done nothing unlawful, unethical, or, I might add, unprecedented.
Hey, Tom. Yeah, that's for you. It's 11:03 at 560 WQAM. Happy Wednesday to you. I don't know why I'm like getting, even though I'm not there, I'm like caught up with the confusion of the whole situation, like where you don't know one day from the other. No, not hysterical. I wouldn't say I'm hysterical. Not like Kay in The Godfather. She's hysterical. Or was that Connie that was hysterical?
I think it was Connie.
Connie. It was you that, whatever it was, you know.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah. Poor Carlo. Won't see him no more.
He had it coming.
Yeah. No flights at fancy airports are limping back toward normalcy. Flight officials in Fort Lauderdale, Miami say progress is being made, but suggest passengers check with your airline. Airports in Fort Lauderdale, Miami began to stir back to life yesterday after damage from hurricane winds forced a shutdown of flights Monday. Officials, however, at Fort Lauderdale, now this was as of this morning before the show. I don't see anything new yet. Do you see anything new on your crawls on your 4, 6, 7, 10, and 23?
No.
And 51 and 110? No. Officials at Fort Lauderdale Hollywood International expected to decide soon when the airport would reopen to commercial flights. The facility had one runway operating for private planes. Well, screw them. The closure marked the longest for Broward Airport since Hurricane King in October of 1950. Well, you know who that was named after?
Oh.
The airport faced 2 major setbacks. Power was yet to be fully restored to the terminal building, and the airport's water pressure was too low, said Tom Giorgiello, airport director. Both of these facilities must be fully operational yet, adding it was uncertain when commercial flights would be operating. It'd be nice to know sometime between now and a week from Simchas Torah, okay? Isn't that today, Simchas Torah?
That's what they said yesterday. I can't see my calendar.
Meanwhile, Miami International is open. It reopened around noon yesterday, but as of late afternoon, only one arrival, a flight by Brazilian carrier TAM, was confirmed. But that was yesterday. Let's see. The ticket counter remained empty as they milled around the airport. I think we'll never get home. I don't want to go into this story. Miami was open. Traffic at the airport unusually light yesterday afternoon at 2 p.m. Ticketing agents for most airlines hadn't arrived yet. See, this is it's tough to do this in the past tense because these stories are, and this is from the Herald also. Like I said, they were doing a pretty good job till we got to this. American Airlines said it was scheduled to launch 5 flights from South America Tuesday night, with arrivals beginning as soon as 5 o'clock this morning. Our first domestic arrival or departure will be around 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, meaning an hour ago, American Airlines spokeswoman Minette Velez said. I wonder if she's kin to Roger Velez or Jose Velez.
Who?
Okay, we don't care about, huh?
Who?
Some people. Jolly Green Giant is dead, before we get to any more of this stuff. Elmer Dressler, he sang Ho 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 in the TV ad.
By the way, it is Simchat Torah today.
Told you. What'd you think?
I looked it up on Jewish Calendar online.
Yeah, well, good for you. Oh, that's right, you got the internets there. That's good.
Yeah, well,
we don't have the phones, though, because, we got the phones for off the air, not for on the air.
Correct.
Understand? And that's probably just as well. Elmer Len Dressler Jr., who extolled vegetables to generations of TV watchers as the booming voice of Jolly Green Giant has died. He was 80. Dressler died. See, this is not good. You know what he died of?
Lung cancer?
Cancer. I don't know what kind, but cancer. See, now, all those vegetables, that's supposed to give you, like, all those antioxidants and keep your body... Of course, maybe he was smoking, Winston tastes good like 20 or 30 packs a day should. I don't know. Dressler died October 16 of cancer, according to daughter Terry Bennett. Dressler was an entertainer and singer for nearly 6 decades, but his voice rang through millions of households when he sang the simple refrain, ho, 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 in a jingle for Green Giant Foods. That's all he said, was ho, ho. Maybe like ho-hos. Maybe that's why he ate too many of those and he croaked.
Or just hose.
Dressler, a Kansas native, moved to Chicago with his wife in the early 50s to study voice after touring with the production of South Pacific. By the 60s, the Navy veteran had carved out a career singing in clubs, TV, and advertising and jingles. He recorded 15 albums with the Singers Unlimited Jazz Group and appeared on the CBS television show In Town Tonight from 55 to 60. Ad jingles were the most consistent part of his career, and he landed roles for Rice Krispies cereal, Marlboro cigarettes. See what I'm saying? The Marlboro man probably did him in. Amico oil and Dinty Moore canned beef stew. Oh, fat.
Hey, I'm having some Dinty Moore for lunch.
No.
Microwavable. It's not the...
oh, boy. I hope the toilets are working in that place. Clear the hallway. Clear the decks about 12:15. Periodically, we recorded the Ho 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 for Jolly Green Giant commercials, most recently about 10 years ago. He re-hoed. Okay. Well, this is all, a lot of this is redundant, but, what's the best we can do is pass along whatever we got, and then you fend for yourselves. Oh, that's bad. That's not that we're insensitive, mind you, but what are we going to do? We're going to come right to your home and bring you water and gas? Why not?
Speaking of water.
Yes?
The Dania Beach City Hall that was giving out water and ice, they're out of water, but they have ice.
Okay, well, if you need ice, and, of course, the amazing part of that is that ice eventually, if you let it sit around long enough, turns to water. How do you like that?
Just sit on it a little bit.
Yeah, just let it hang around for a while. It'll turn to water, and then you can, gulp it up. I probably should do the thing about the, well, I'll wait. The city-by-city situation as far as boil water order and things like that.
Okay.
Because we're not getting any updates on that, on these online things. And that would be mighty helpful, okay? Anyway, the Sun Sentinel says, no power, no gas, no water, for many no help. South Floridians began to comprehend the effects of Hurricane Wilma on Tuesday as it became increasingly clear that residents will spend the next few days waiting in lines for basic supplies, scouring the area for gas like poor George did this morning, all over the place, with no luck, by the way, coveting warm showers and working toilets, clearing away debris, and overall kicking themselves for underestimating the damage a Category 2 storm could bring. See, it says 2 there. I thought it was 3. Wasn't it 3?
It was. That's
what
I
thought. It was
a
Lawrence Welk storm. It was out there in the Gulf. It was a 1, a 2, and a 3. It was a 3. Although state officials had bragged about their... Here's the best part. You fat-ass governor, you phony baloney, you and your buddies there with FEMA and your crooked buddy, your brother, El Presidente. Hey, Brownie, you're doing a heck of a job, baby, and you too, fat-ass Jeb. Although state officials had bragged about their readiness for Wilma, trucks with water and ice didn't start arriving in Broward till late yesterday. Didn't even start showing up. Palm Beach and Dade County also reported problems. As a result, tensions ran high and some fights broke out as residents complained that help was not coming quickly enough. I'm gagging on just thinking about it. Everybody wants everything yesterday, said Paul Reedy, whatever his name is, of Oakland Park, who began trolling for water and ice early Tuesday, but found a local grocery store already had been picked clean. Picked clean. Right. Shouldn't they have a limit?
Oh, they were just showing some guy pull up to one of the gas stations that was working with a pickup truck, overflowing with gas canisters and just filling them up, since you mentioned that.
Yeah, shouldn't they have a limit when people are in desperate straits and not let people whore and hog everything for themselves? You selfish bastards, you.
Let's
you
have
people
100
go in there grab up every single bag of ice and every bottle of bottled water. You know something? I hope the people that do that, a lot of that really bottled water in the thick plastic jugs, the chemicals leach into the water. I hope that water kills you. How do you like that? If you take too much of it. If you don't take too much, then we hope you survive it. Let's see. Water was restored in many cities by late Tuesday, but water pressure remained low, and most residents were still cautioned to boil water before drinking. Pompano Beach resident Jorge Santos agreed as he surveyed his smashed-in house and car. The car remained suspended in the air by the roots of an uprooted 100-year-old ficus tree. Car was suspended in the air.
Suspended a car?
Crack, he went to recall, yeah. Crack. There was a lot of that going around, Jorge. Across the region, people went into scavenger mode, descending on those few sources of water, food, and gas they could find. Most ignored pleas from government officials to stay off the roads, still full of debris and without working traffic lights. As a result, traffic added to clogged condition. Stay off the roads, you lunatics, you maniacs. Unless you're going to get, like, some crucial necessary supplies and stuff. You know, we had a Pompano Park spot that I scratched out because I'm sure they're not open, but wouldn't it be nice to find out from them to get a fax? Now, maybe they don't have any power over there. Troy Stratford, of course, he's let us down.
Right. He was here
He's
yesterday.
No
one has seen him today.
I am pretty sure that they're giving out food and water at Pompano Park.
I saw that on some website yesterday, and I couldn't find that again. So you can't plunge your guts out, I'm sure, but they are giving out ice and food also, are you sure?
Oh, actually, yeah. I just want to go with water and ice. I'm not sure.
Well, well, I'm sure they got a lot of them weenies around, but if they have no power, they can't cook them.
Hey, I'm sure they go for the raw ones at this point.
If they have any auxiliary power or anything, it would be nice to get from Steve Wolf or Dick Feinberg or somebody over there a fax to me to let me know what's going on.
Yeah, our fax machine works.
Right, our fax machine is working, and they have my number direct. They don't have to pimp through you, okay?
Right.
Pimp your fax. In Coral Springs, hundreds of residents made desperate to buy generators lined up outside a Home Depot at 5 in the morning this morning. Tempers flared when a steady stream of city police officers and firefighters began driving around to the rear of the store to load police cars and personal vehicles ahead of the crowd. A police officer, if we kept mouthing off, they would arrest us, said Clinton McClymont, 59. He reached for his handcuffs. Sheriff Ken Jenney, the possum, that fascist, that lunatic, said he expects to ask for the National Guard the next 2 or 3 days because of the workload on deputies. We're putting them on notice we may need help, he said. Ken Jenney. God help you if you have to depend on Ken Jenney. Curfews remain in effect from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. in Broward, 8 p.m. to 6 a.m. in Dade. Customers also mobbed the Publix in Sunrise that opened 8 o'clock in the morning, snatching up to 250 cases of water in 1 hour. It's been chaos, said store manager Luis Gonzalez. Scott Cabot said he drove all day from Fort Lauderdale to Boynton Beach in search of gas. Although the story here doesn't say what. Well, there's more to it, I guess. Whether he found it or not. Wouldn't it be nice to know if Scott got his gas or not?
Yeah, come on, Scott.
How about Scott, share like bring a couple of thimbles of gas by for poor George.
This is Neil Rogers.
Stench of cow manure hovers over this performance by the Dolphins.
I do now.
You fairy.
She knows all I am is hungry for every girl in this world that ever has winked at me. Sure I lie, I betray. So this breakup I feel is the best thing for me. Those rippers are fine. I feel 1,000 sensations when they seduce me, oh Jessica. I do cheat on you. I'll spend the rest of my life finding another hot wife. I do cheat on you. Cheating's hard to control. I guess I'm just an a-hole. I've waited to say this to you. If you think this breakup's leaving me crushed, guess again.
We don't care, Nick. It's 11:18 at 560 WQAM. Got some bad news. No announcement on indictments today on Planegate.
Damn it.
Yeah, they got us all whipped up into a frenzy. ABC News was like adamant last night that, tomorrow's the day, yada beep, bada boop, and not today. So by the end of the week, because the grand jury expires on Friday the 28th, so by the end of the week we're going to be hearing something, a little something. But in the meantime, I'm sure most people have got in South Florida bigger fish to fry.
Yeah, that would have been a nice, cheerier
that would have been a little distraction there, a little diversion and perversion, but nevertheless. I don't have any facts from Pompano Park yet. Did we get any call?
No.
Did we get any message?
No.
Is Troy on the case? Is Steve and his wolf giving us any info?
No.
Not yet. But I'm sure I did see that on the list yesterday, water and ice at Pompano Park. Curfews help halt incidents of looting. Even when police departments stretched to the limit in Wilma's Wake, relatively few incidents of looting reported in the last 2 days. And, of course, like I told you before, if you loot, you shoot, like that sign said. That's a good sign. If you loot, you shoot. And aim for the head. Curfews were continued across South Florida. Another curfew is possible tonight, it says. Possible. In hard-hit Broward, officials said any residents still in line distribution centers would be allowed to stay and load up with ice and water. Exemptions to curfews include essential personnel such as law enforcement, fire rescue, hospital and healthcare workers, emergency management, others involved in recovery efforts, and, of course, radio broadcasters. From the time Wilma's winds tapered off through Tuesday afternoon, Fort Lauderdale police, there's part of this is chopped off. Well, 8 arrests for prowling and 5 for some other violations, curfew violations. 8 people who broke into a Foot Locker store on Sunrise Boulevard were arrested, said Fort Lauderdale Police Sergeant Bill Schultz. Into a Foot Locker store. How do you like that?
Gotta get them shoes.
At nighttime, it's just very dark, he said. I wonder what he meant by that. That's where the curfew assist isn't getting people off the street. By this morning, BSO officers made 1 looting arrest, received 6 reports of looting. Deputies arrested somebody for stealing 2 pairs of shoes from Mocha's Beauty Supply in Fort Lauderdale. Oh, nice. What is this with the shoes, man? What's that, the obsession with the shoes?
Shoes are expensive.
You know, I know. Just
for
like
some people, they're high priority.
Okay, that's enough of that. Part of that story is chopped off anyway. A massive cleanup has begun in Broward as people across South Florida are waiting in line for ice, water, and gasoline. 80 to 85% of the major roads are clear of debris, 80 to 85%, and county officials are working on the others, said Lee Billingsley, that county spokesman again, whose name keeps popping up. County road officials are installing 30 generators to power traffic lights around Broward that don't have any electricity. Early this morning, Tamarack City employees picked up debris, moved trees, and cleaned the parking lot on City Hall and Pine Island Road. Public Works employees and private subcontractors cruised the streets from Tamarack to Plantation to pick up debris. Backhoes, not black hose. That's bad. Backhoes picked up trees in apartment complexes, and cranes removed large limbs as the sun rose over the debris-strewn parking lots. I'm just making up that last part of each sentence because it's chopped off. This Herald website is... Traveling south on Pine Island from Coral Springs to Plantation remained dangerous as people zoomed through intersections, not allowing those waiting patiently to turn at passing. How do you like that? Lunatics. Maniacs out there on the highways, even on a warm, dry, sunny day with no hurricane and no debris. You drive like crap, most of you, so now you can only imagine. Just south of Commercial Boulevard, one lane of the road became impassable as a long line formed for 2 gas stations opening at the intersection of 44th Street and Pine Island and Sunrise. Hundreds of cars waited, including dozens on foot holding gas cans at the 2 stations at the corner of the intersection. Several Sunrise police officers tried to maintain order as temper flared and people became unruly. Just calm down, okay? Getting unruly ain't going to speed anything up, okay? Getting all bent out of shape. Take a couple of doggy downers. Relax.
Yeah, well, I'm out of that, too.
Be calm like me, okay? Just try to calm down a little bit, just like me.
Yeah, easy.
Who's only 1,000 miles away from all this debris and crap. That's the way it goes. You chose to stay there in that
I didn't.
In that rat-infested swamp with the snakes and bufo toads and all that other crap.
Don't forget the skeeters.
And big skeeters as big as bowling balls. Man. Well, here's some good news, okay? Want to put a little smile on the face of some of the people in Palm Beach? Well, we can't. Listen.
I think I might drive up there for gas today.
And food. The Greater Palm Beach. Now, any food come by for you guys? What a joke. How about some donuts from Dunkin' Donuts? From Krispy Kreme, huh? No?
Right.
Well, what about a pizza? All these pizza joints are open. How come they can't bring you guys down a couple of pies?
No, we're just here for the horn.
I see. I guess your friend over there, and Davey probably isn't open. He doesn't have any power either, right? We're not hearing from any of those people, including Pompano Park. The Greater Palm Beach chapter of the American Red Cross is again offering mobile feeding sites today. They'll start operating around noon, 36 minutes from now, but who's counting? And continue till the food runs out. That usually takes 3 to 4 hours, said Dean Dimke, executive director of the chapter. The Red Cross has arranged for 20,000 hot meals and 10,000 snacks for today, Dimke said. I wonder what they mean by a snack. What is that, like a little, maybe a bag of Ho-Hos?
Or a granola bar.
Or a little granola bar? Or maybe like one of those little things they give you on the airplane with like cashews.
That's
probably more likely, right?
Yeah.
Some are at fixed sites, others are roving mobile units like big ice cream trucks, Dimke said. Mobile units, how about some ice cream? Sounds good.
I'll take anything.
Mobile units will be in Riviera Beach, Blue Heron Boulevard to Martin Luther King, Haverhill Road to I-95. West Palm Beach, Okeechobee Boulevard, south to Southern Boulevard, Interstate I-95 to east to Dixie. Green Acres, Summit Boulevard, south to Forest Hill Boulevard, Jog Road to Haverhill. In Lake Worth, Lucerne Boulevard, south to Lantana Road, I-95 east to Dixie Highway. Boynton Beach, Hypoluxo Road, south to Gateway Boulevard, I-95 east to Federal Highway. Fixed sites in Palm Beach will be at South County Civic Center, 16700 Jog Road, west of Delray Beach, at the Pahokee High School. Maybe they got some of that delicious cherry pie. At Glades General Hospital, 1501. It's only been frozen for 10 years. Glades General Hospital, 1501 Main Street in Belle Glade, and at Tanner Park. What? At 105 Martin Luther King Boulevard in South Bay. Oh, you don't want to be schlepping all the way up to South Bay.
I guess I will.
That's all the way up by the lake, isn't it? South Bay? Yeah. When you go up 27, the Hershey Highway to Tampa. There were a few bits of good news from Palm Beach County Emergency Operations Center this morning, even in the midst of continuing problems. The main electric transmission line serving the West Palm Beach water plant was restored late yesterday. With power restored, there is water pressure so people can bathe and flush their toilets. All right. That averted a potential need to evacuate St. Mary's and Good Samaritan hospitals. A boil water effect, though, is still in effect. Boil water order. Power is back in several major infrastructure sites, including Palm Beach International Airport. Now, there's a possibility, right? What? I wouldn't be surprised if Mo flew back into Palm Beach, wouldn't you think, because he had to get back into town?
That's a good chance.
When he comes in, I'm sure he'll have stories. Like everybody's got their stories. Power's back to several infrastructure sites, including Palm Beach International Airport, the Port of Palm Beach, Riviera Beach Water Plant, most of St. Mary's Medical Center Complex, and Good Samaritan Medical Center, said Max Macon from FP&L. About 57,000 Palm Beach County customers have had power restored, but 607,000 still without power. So it's still a long way to go. Less than 10% got it back. Repairs to a sinkhole on the northern side of I-95 north of Palm Beach Lakes Boulevard now have allowed 3 lanes of traffic open there, this guy said. Water, ice, and meals are en route at mid-morning to distribution sites throughout the county, but they declined to specify the sites until at least 10 or 11 o'clock, although it's past that now, because of problems with large numbers of people showing up yesterday to places where supplies never arrived. And I apologize profusely because we were like pimps in the process, and we gave the information out in the best of intentions,
right?
And and a lot of people got screwed. So we're just as pissed off as you are, even though we're not starving and got plenty of water here. Took a nice hot shower this morning with my body wash.
Yeah.
Enjoying some nice bottled water right here now.
Oh,
Some Schweppes Club soda. But anyway, we don't want to rub it in because there are a lot of people getting really pissed off and ornery, and rightfully so, because basically your government sucks, your fat-ass governor sucks, and FEMA bites the big one.
This
and FP&L.
is Neil Rogers. This is QAM.
All the crap you can unwrap. All the slime all the time. I can't get over what that Huey said today. He's got a lot of noise to talk about me that way. I don't give a crap what that Berry has to say. If he wants to smoke pink cigars, then let him. Why, I'll have you know, I know what I'm talking about. Every morning at the condo, I take the elevator down, and on my way to the car, when I pull my folding basket out, I grab a free condo paper. The toys are back in town.
Toys are back in town.
The toys are back in town.
The toys are back in
I said the toys are back in town. Why, you little... Ah, my God, of all you sport old fools. I know everything that's going on in that news. Why, I even know all the new Mahjong rules. I'm hip to the jive, Daddy-O.
Too bad we're going down tonight. It's a better show when I take your place. I know I ain't no Ed Hoyley, but when they drop, my voice will change.
You little smoothie.
Okay, 28 till noon. I got some good news for me.
Yeah?
My bratwursts are here. That was that call when the phone rang at 10 o'clock. Because I just checked online. So they were delivered. So what I'm going to do in the next break, I'm going to run down, and when the break ends, you can play something like a long bit.
You got it.
And then if I'm not back in time, then you can vamp.
Oh,
you can do
beg for gas for 4
Yeah,
hours.
like that. Or just go on here and beg for gas. Call up Luca Brazzi. He'll help you out. I'll tell you one thing. It's good to have a connected friend in times like these. You know what I mean?
Don Corleone.
That's the one.
Nice.
Anyway, stressed out South Floridians cope in a variety of ways. I did the reprint. I'm a little PO'd with the Sun Sentinel. They should have updated this, and they did not. They did a little bit, but not really what it needs to be. And they're probably operating under duress, too, you know. Tom Majika had told me he wore a purple dress to work, a beauty. So they probably got some issues over there, too. Wilma's scouring winds may have departed, but now comes the modern family's real nightmare. No TV, no internet, no cold soda, hot showers, even more galling, reliable cell phone service. Doesn't even mention flushing toilets. Like that. Well, I guess you can go in the backyard, you know.
No problem there.
With a shovel. How does today's family cope? Many South Floridians, at least those lucky enough to have gas, George, just packed up and took off for points north. Remember I was telling you that before the show? That would be the smart thing to do. Not for you, because you got to work. But
right, yeah, but
for people who can't work because their place of employment isn't operating now anyway for a while, they just haul ass, get out of Dodge, or just get in their Dodge and get out of town. By the way, Josh, anytime you get anything off the phone, we need just to interject.
Well, I gave George some new stuff on gas stations, but a guy wanted you to give out, a couple people wanted you to give out the FEMA number because I, for some reason, don't have it.
Okay, well, I got a story on FEMA going to give people money, which I should have gotten to much sooner. Let's see. FEMA is going to be giving direct storm aid to South Florida homeowners, and this is only because of pressure from Congress, because FEMA first was going to really stick it to you and do their usual as little as possible. Here you go. FEMA's hotline, I got it right here. I'm glad you asked. 1-800-621-FEMA. And online, if you got power, it's FEMA.gov, but who the hell's got power? FEMA's hotline is 1-800-621-FEMA, F-E-M-A. Got it?
Got it.
Are we on top of it or what, huh? I don't have any idea how we're doing this.
Magic.
Thank God for the internets, that's all I can tell you. Well, actually, I should be cursing the internets because if I didn't have the internets, I couldn't know what the hell was going on, and I'd probably have to take a few days off. I don't want to be doing that.
Yeah, I know.
Why stay down there with no power, no heat, or AC, no water, said FHP Sergeant George Delahose from Orlando. You don't want little kids with no power, nothing to do, so bring them up to Central Florida for a bit of relief. Get out of town for a couple of days. He's trying to drum up some business, and that's okay. We understand that for that Mickey Mouse town. Enough hurricane refugee. And by the way, if you get in a car, go to Tampa, you can go over to Burns Steakhouse, you can go to Donatello's on Dale Mabry there. You can sneak out and go to Mom's Weenus there and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Enough hurricane refugees were motoring north on Florida's Turnpike yesterday afternoon to cause a 10-mile backup at the Lake Worth Service Plaza. Not all were fleeing damaged or powerless homes. Many were just trying to score hard-to-find gas, which was available in $20 limits. Well, thank God for them that they're limiting it, okay? Unlike these other places you're seeing where they're going, a bunch of hogs going in there, just filling up can after can after can. Somebody ought to kick their can.
Yeah, they should.
Hate those people. Pigs. It's all about me, like that.
It wasn't just the back of the truck wasn't full with them laying side by side, but they had like 3 rows of gas canisters.
3 rows of hose?
Yeah, on top of each other.
Well, somebody ought to stick their cube right where the moon don't shine. Still, the traffic flowing upstate was heavy enough to clot into a... Oh, I wonder what kind of a clot that was. Don't say it.
I won't flood.
Into a 6-mile jam just south of Orlando where road work has narrowed the turnpike to 1 lane. Oh, isn't that spiffy? Road work has narrowed the turnpike to 1 lane just in time for Wilma. You lunatics! Delahose said extra troopers have been assigned to help with the traffic increase. It's very heavy. They're packing up and getting out. Getting the hell out, and a lot of them might not come back if they're smart. Orlando, with more than 3,000 open hotel rooms, is a popular destination. The theme parks are more than happy to help those people, Delahose said. But for those who stayed, there was precious little to do besides pick up and sort yard debris or stand in line for supplies. Cabin fever sets in. Kids get rambunctious. Ice becomes a quest. Sleeping becomes a worthwhile occupation. That's what John Rondinello did yesterday on blankets and pillows in the walk-in closet of his Highland Beach condo. The windows of his 10th floor home had been blown out, trashing the living space. I feel like crying, but what can you do? He said, you got to take it as it comes. That's what I do. In Tamarack, Gary and Denise Acevedo spent Tuesday mopping up water. I wonder if they're kin to Derek Acevedo, the jockey at Calder from 100 years ago. The storm destroyed the roof fence and tossed a palm into the swimming pool, yet they and other stricken neighbors found reassurance in each other. Everybody's friendly with everybody now. There's nothing to do but come outside, said Gary Acevedo. We're finally enjoying our park, said somebody else at Holiday Park. They just love being outside in the gorgeous weather, the kids. Others sought comfort in shopping. I see. At the Winn-Dixie in North Lauderdale, the wait up the checkout line was about an hour yesterday, and the dark people picked shelves clean. Strangers shared shopping carts. Isn't that special?
Aww.
Yeah. Florida, they just love each other, man.
I can feel it.
Eddie Kennedy of Margate spent $80 on bread, chips, canned fruit, and onion dip. He was carpooling his cart. I got a great idea. I'm going to play the bit before the break.
That's a good idea.
Isn't that a great idea? Now put the cue on there. Now, what do we got that's like 3.5 minutes long?
Holes on
I got to
Parade.
give myself time. I got to go get that package, man.
No. Remember we had Holes on Parade?
No, that's not that long either.
You want to play
the Dennis Leary one.
Strange.
Act Strange is excellent. That's 321. Oh, man, you son of a gun, it's 321.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. Okay, I got that all queued up. Anyway, at Winn-Dixie in North Lauderdale, the wait at the checkout line was about an hour Tuesday. I just got through saying that. Eddie Kennedy of Margate spent $80 on bread, chips, canned fruit, and onion dip. He was carpooling his cart. Carpooling his cart with Jennifer Larkins of Coral Springs, who loaded up on pretzels, bread, and ice. We didn't think it was going to be this bad, she said. Cherise Richardson of Lauderhill bought toilet paper, good investment, bleach, cleaning wipes, ice, and insect repellent. Her house suffered major roof damage, but I'm not going to get upset, she said. The most important thing is to be alive. That's it. We're still alive. They hit him with 5 shots, and he's still alive. One challenge that occupied South Floridians was personal hygiene. Oops. The biggest thing is not being able to flush the toilets. Tom Krukel of Fort Lauderdale is using pool water to fill the tank. The Dela Grossos bathed in their hot tub. Others used a face cloth. Yeah, just sponge it off. We're spoiled, said Carol Smith of Fort Lauderdale. We take our sponge baths and go, ooh, this is so cold. That's what she said. Ooh, it's so cold.
You know,
in the sponge bath,
it's
too.
the impersonal hygiene that's got
Okay, so I'll give you the FEMA story, and then we'll go down the ice and water stuff again, and the FEMA number and all of these things, whatever we can pass along. And don't forget to call Josh, because he's our interlocutor today.
For open gas stations would be nice.
Open gas stations would be excellent. Not that George wanted to be selfish or anything like that.
Of course
but
not. For other people,
desperately
too.
needs to get that thing cranked up, or everybody in his house is going to die, and he'll have to abandon the whole family.
Yeah, that would be bad somehow.
Well, it would be...
We can only get Channel 7 here, but the next time that they put the list of ice and water distribution centers, I think I'll just pot up the audio. Because I tried to write them down, but it was...
No, I got the list here.
Okay, then never mind.
I'm going to get to that next, because they're full of crap.
Never mind.
Ladies and gentlemen, if I could offer only one tip for the future, act strange, and people will leave you alone. The rest of my advice has no basis more reliable than my own meandering experience. Put a slinky around your neck and try to walk downstairs backwards head first. Sit naked in a large bowl of Rice Krispies and sing Feelings while the kernels go snap, crackle, and pop. Go up to a ticket booth and try to stick your head through the hole where they say how much. Lick a stranger. Tell them you're from Bosnia and your country, it's a sign of respect. Take lots of pills. One of them might work. Occasionally ask a stranger if they've heard anything from Lewis. Be annoying. During an IRS audit, staple the guy's hand to his desk. Moon a funeral. Play Go Fetch with a seeing-eye dog while he's working. Run naked through a mall yelling, "Killer bees! Killer bees!" Say the word titty without smiling. Try to figure out who said Pauly Shore should star in movies. Don't be surprised if it's the same guy who said John Gacy should work with kids. Ask an old lady if you can carry her groceries, then try to make a run for it. Disappear for great lengths of time. Try to touch your forehead with your tongue. It may not work, but many women will appreciate the effort. At a high school reunion, tell your old English teacher that your dog's still eating your homework. Ask Mark McGuire if he'll take $1 million for one of his balls. Try to find the secret to Carrot Top's success. Understand your conception was an accident, that your parents got wasted and wanted a few more laughs before they passed out. Try not to lose your finger in your nose. Pick up Bob Costas and toss him on the lawn next door. Go on a car trip with Bob Costas and force him to stay in his car seat. Try to dribble Bob Costas. Ask all your friends and family for forgiveness. Knowing you've done some crap that's really pissed them off. Wish no ill will to anyone. Unless you don't like them, then screw them, they're on their own. Realize anyone who says they're completely happy are completely full of crap. Ask a Hell's Angel if he's a woman, or has he always walked like that? Understand that there are bad people in the world, and you may just be one of them. Sniff an old lady. Imagine Gomer Pyle in a gay bar trying to get lucky. Do this without laughing. Find what's left of your innocence. Understand it, embrace it, protect it, and every so often, take it out for a nice nosh. Care enough not to care. Hum while you eat. Act strange, and people will leave you alone.
This is Neil Rogers. This is 560 QAM.
Neil, God.
I was working in the stem cell research lab. With new cells in a dead fetus, I thought I'd give it a stab. There's miraculous cures for the world to behold, all right there in my George Petrie bowl. I do stem cell research. I'll find a cure for the squirt. Paralysis, cancer, or worse. With my stem cell research, for retards this would be good. I can install a new brain in bush. If you bring me Rita Crosby, I can make her understood. Sammy Brown back gave my phone a ring. Seems he's confused about this stem cell thing. He asked me before he puts a stop to all this, is there anything you can do about my limp wrist? Rick Santorum said stop this sin, and asked for a dead fetus. I said, well, if you insist. He drove it home to show his kids. It made them peppers and umbilical cord sandwiches. I do stem cell research. No more boo-boos will hurt. It's either me or the church. I do stem cell research. Oh, Rita Crosby. Sit still, dear. This won't hurt a bit.
Hey, thanks, Bub. I'm a man again.
Something that's still noon at 560 WQM. Anyway, I'm back, and I would have been back even sooner, except there was some broad down there in the concierge.
Oh, you too, huh?
Do you supply the shower head, and is it expensive? And if I wouldn't have interjected, I would still be standing there. I said, excuse me, but I'm in a major hurry to have a package. And then to find out I got a new AC Endus down there, too.
How do you like that?
Yeah, so we can preview that on the air, and then see if it's,
clean. A lot of that going around with the broads in your way this morning.
Although, wait a minute. Now, I don't think we can do that, though, can we?
Do what? That's right.
Better not do that.
Oh,
Boy, it's just a good thing I thought about that. Now, we got a little technical situation going on that we don't want to really discuss too openly. But
ACN's always clean. What could be in there? A fart
No,
sound?
this is not ACN.
Oh.
HCN. And they tend to get a little potty mouth lately because they're just, just kind of devilish. Okay, here's some important stuff. The audience don't want to hear that crap anyway. They want to hear news, information, just like in the prisoner. We want information. Well, here's some. Broward County has been approved for FEMA assistance for both small businesses and individuals. The number to call is 1-800-621-3362. People must save all receipts because FEMA assistance is only for reimbursement. It was announced at the Broward Emergency Operations Center this morning. 1-800-621-3362. Is that the same number I gave out only moments ago, probably?
Sounds familiar.
Let me look.
Does that spell out FEMA?
Yeah, that's it. 1-800-621-FEMA, 1-800-621-3362. FP&L said it hopes to have power restored to a majority of Broward by... Oh, no.
Next Sukkot?
What's the date today? The 26th. By November 8th. And everyone in the county back online with electricity by November 15th. I see.
No comment.
Well, 647,000 people have had power restored in South Florida so far, but mostly not in Broward. Can that number be right? I think there's an extra zero on there. I guess that's right. Lynn Shaddis of FP&L said 10,913 people are working on restoration efforts from mid-St. Lucie County south into Dade. The Broward Emergency Operations Center said they have 16 sites set up for water and ice and said 127 trucks are being escorted through Palm Beach County by BSO deputies. In addition, electricity has been restored to the Publix warehouse in Deerfield Beach and said the supermarkets will likely have ice available later today. They'll be making the ice as fast as they can. Isn't that good news?
Jolly good.
Electricity has been restored to the Publix warehouse in Deerfield Beach, and the supermarket stores will likely have ice available later today, and they're making it as fast as they can in the ice, too. The Port Everglades Channel may be reopened later today. There is plenty of fuel locally, but few gas stations have the power sources to provide it to drivers. Well, we're working on that. So, okay, I'm going to put that in my, let's hang out of that pile. FEMA, 1-800-621-FEMA, 1-800-621-3362. Now, well, when am I going to get to my, all this other stuff? See, I don't know. And I'm not sending any more unless there's something major, Josh. Whatever you got now for me, that's it for the day. Because what's the point of me putting a big burden, and having you do a lot of work, and nobody's going to read it?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. I was talking on the phone. What was that?
Don't look so bummed there, Josh.
You heard it. I said I'm going to send you 50 stories for tomorrow, smart ass. Okay, now we got any more info? Because I want to make sure we get this on right away. If we get anything good, we got a lot of good stuff about gas stations and about a few restaurants. Jacaranda Pizza's open in Plantation. Anything else?
Just this gas station list that Josh gave me.
You would think that we'd have more Dade County locations for food because Dade has got quite a few people back online, and even yesterday.
As of this morning, Aventura South looks like
what's the story?
Why isn't anybody calling?
Yeah, why aren't we getting the info? Are they not putting it up on your crawl there on your TV?
Oh, they're putting a whole bunch of crap on the crawl, but nothing like that. It's
nothing
more
like
ice
that.
and water, ice and water. That's all they care about.
Well, maybe somebody would like to chew on a little something more than just ice and water, okay? I realize when you don't have your teeth in your mouth, it's kind of hard to chew on solid food, but maybe some applesauce would be good.
I could read off some of the stupid stuff going on the crawl here, like, if you see a down power line, don't touch it, call FPL.
No, please, like that NBC. The more you know, the more you know. They put on some stupid thing that even a 2-year-old child knows. The more you know, like they're educating the world. They're a bunch of whores like everybody else. It's GE, you're in the damn oil business, you're in the business with all those contractors over in Iraq. You're a bunch of crooks too, okay? So don't give us a song and a dance. All you lunatics at GE that own NBC and CNBC and MSNBC, etc. The federal government has approved disaster aid for individual homeowners and renters. Federal officials agreed last night. Now, this was before the thing that I just did about the small businesses, but anyway. Federal officials agreed Tuesday night to give direct storm aid to South Florida homeowners and renters who suffered damage from Wilma. The decision means that homeowners and renters in Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach counties will be eligible for cash grants from FEMA worth as much as $26,200 to cover uninsured expenses, including home repairs, temporary lodging, and funerals. Funerals.
I'm dying over here.
Nationally, FEMA's average disaster grant is $2,500 to those who qualify. Private aid also makes residents eligible for low-interest loans worth up to $200,000 to repair or replace primary residences and $1.5 million for small businesses. Cash for private storm victims was initially limited to residents of Lee, Collier, and Monroe counties, the counties first struck by the storm, but several members of Congress who were really pissed off, and rightfully so, pressured FEMA to add other South Florida counties, including Dade and Broward, annoyed that the federal government refused to provide aid for local residents after Katrina struck in August. Governor Jeb Bush, your fat-ass governor, also made a push. Yeah, he's pushing it all right. It's beyond comprehension for me. FEMA's foot-dragging at a time when we need to have a sense of urgency, U.S. Representative Kendrick Meek of Miami said Tuesday afternoon as he looked down at Alapata, Opelika, Liberty City, other Miami neighborhoods from a National Guard Black Hawk. Many of the older homes had missing roofs. On a one-block stretch of Liberty City where a new home stood among a smorgasbord of old construction, all of the older houses had some degree of roof damage. The new home had none. Escorted by local officials, FEMA officials began local damage inspections in Broward and Dade, scouring neighborhoods for damage. U.S. Representative Debbie Wasserman Schultz of Weston toured the Sharon Village and Sunshine Village mobile home parks in Davie with one team. They knew the storm would hit this part of the state. To me, it seems like a real no-brainer, she said, of individual assistance. In other words, FEMA sucks. FEMA workers assessed home damage on a scale of minor, major, or destroyed. Many of the Davie mobile homes, which had trees through their roofs or their sidewalls split open, were ruled destroyed by FEMA surveyor Jim Yost, who I'm sure is related to former great third baseman Eddie Yost of the Washington Senators. We want to get the help to them as quickly as possible, Yost said. We have to follow protocol before the money starts to come in, but we're working to get it here quick. One mobile home split in half by a tree had "Where's FEMA" spray painted on its side. A lot of people are frustrated by the destruction and just want to hear that help is on the way, Yost said, after speaking with that home's owner. FEMA Director R. David Paulson, oh boy, said his agency will have 7 disaster recovery centers. You know, it's interesting because FEMA is a disaster when you think about it.
Mm-hmm.
They'll have 7 disaster recovery centers set up in Florida this week. They already have 160 medics in the state treating patients. Paulson, who was planning to arrive in South Florida sometime today, acknowledged in recent days that delivering ice, water, and meals was the biggest challenge. That was a problem yesterday. Several ice and water distribution centers in Dade and Broward ran out of supplies or opened late, and some in Palm Beach County didn't bother opening at all. Okay, well, what's the point? You know what I'm saying?
What are you saying?
You're not going to, you can gnash your teeth and get angry all you want, but it's not going to make them any more, any better or any more epic.
Any faster.
Okay.
I got something for you.
Please.
In Cutler Ridge, from Eureka Drive to 200th Street, I guess they have power back. A guy called and said all the gas stations over there are open.
Oh, my God.
And there's a Burger King open.
Ah!
Everybody go down that way.
Get a Whopper. Get a cheese Whopper with a bacon cheese Whopper, man.
Even some of the Mignon rings would be great right
That
now.
is only if your toilets are working. Well, that's good. Now say it again. The Cutler Ridge.
In
from
Cutler
where?
Ridge, yes. Eureka Drive, basically to 200th Street. He said that there's a bunch of gas stations. They've got power back over there. And he said that there was a Burger King open.
Gas and Burger King, which, of course, there could be a connection there. Not necessarily in that
Gas
order.
and oil.
Right. There you go. So that sounds very... Go over and get 20 or 30 of those breakfast cross sandwiches, too, would be good. Without the egg. Because if you get the egg, you know what's going to be happening all day long. That's not good. We're looking for gas, but not necessarily that kind.
This is Neil Rogers.
I'm Frau Iliana Ross-Leitman, and I like scrubbing my smelly gorilla ass with soap made from Jews and listening to the Neil Roque Comunista Hour. Hey, guys!
Do we want to say WQA Miami, Fort Lauderdale?
Let's do it.
Oh, I come from Crawford, Texas, with a guitar on my knee. While they died in Louisiana, I raised cash for the GOP. Oh, Katrina, don't put no blame on me, 'cause I come from my vacation for a photo opportunity.
Swing your partner round and round. Now do a little swimming through New Orleans town. Swim to the left, to the right, here we go. Sling a little mud, now do-si-do.
Oh, Katrina, why didn't those people flee? 'Cause it's worse in Louisiana than it is for Iraqi.
Absolutely.
She's the most hated reality star. Bravo and TV Guide asked viewers to decide, and they picked her by far. Like to smash her head in with my guitar.
All right.
People say Omarosa is a jerk. William Hung was no match, or even Richard Hatch. She drives us all berserk. America's sick of her evil smirk. She even beat Bobby Brown. Weed smoking has been clowned, and his crack whack wife Whitney. And I bet she feels crappy, got more votes than Cappy, the worst in TV history. Omarosa's the one we all despise. Well, she's Miss Prim and Proper, and no one can stop her from telling her lies. Love when Trump fired the witch, all she did was constantly bitch.
Yes.
She's the most hated reality star by far.
Okay, 12:02 at QM. We got the Molmeister back from his travails and travels at 2 o'clock. Then we got Mad Dog at 4. Hurricane Hotline at 7 from in the studio. No more Bernie Kosars because obviously they got no power, I guess. World Series game number 4 at 9:30 at 9 o'clock. NDK after all of that. Be nice if Houston at least would win one game. Be the first time Houston ever won a World Series game. Be nice for them to win one, wouldn't it? Just one.
Yeah, but it's not going to happen. Okay.
Even with no power at public stores in Dania Beach and Hollywood, customers were roaming the aisles and stocking up on more food and water. The stores are running on backup generators, had only non-perishable items available, plus some fruits and vegetables that don't require refrigeration, like apples.
Okay.
They're better refrigerated, but they don't have to be, right?
Sure. Like
veggies,
celery and stuff.
Huh? What vegetables don't require refrigeration?
Carrots.
Ooh. Big sellers were water, chips, bread, cookies, and cases of beer. All right. Jennifer Jeffords Mazzo of Dania Beach took the chance to stock up on things she forgot, as well as the carbohydrates and sweets she hadn't been eating before Wilma arrived. All of these things were not supposed to be on my diet.
All of these things,
said Jeffords Mazzo, whose cart was stocked with pasta, Oreo cookies, and loaves of bread. Atkins is out the window. It's eat what you can find, she said. Oh, and speaking of that, Merv Griffin's on a new diet. It's the Chris Atkins diet.
Cute.
Anyway. Here's the distribution. This is going to take some time. I don't know. And I got this list from the Herald, cancellations, and oh boy, I'm just I'll do it.
Do it.
It's ponderous,
what
man. But people want to know. You know, they want to know. Various organizations are distributing supplies around South Florida. Now this is from yesterday. Although they did make some alterations on here. Don't blame it on us. Don't come and pee on our lawn if some of these places ran out. Now, we never did hear from Pompano Park, did we?
No, not on this
Nice
one.
going, Troy. You're right on top of it, baby. Dania Beach City Hall. Now, wait a minute. Didn't you tell me that they were out of something before, or was that not Dania?
Yeah, that was, they were out of water, but they still had
But
ice.
they still have ice. And if you let the ice melt, guess what? Voila! Water. Dania Beach City Hall, 100 West Dania Beach Boulevard. Davie, Treetops Park. Now, didn't we have something about Treetops Park, too?
We did. I forgot
what was
it
that?
was.
I don't think
Something.
so.
Well, it's hard to keep track. There's so many zillion of these.
Oh, yeah. They were supposed to open with water and ice at 9 a.m., but they never did.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Well, I'm not giving it then. Hallandale Beach, Hollywood Dog Track, 831 North Federal Highway. Hollywood. Oh, Dave & Buster's parking lot, Oakwood Plaza, but please, please do not enter from Sterling Road, only from Sheridan Street, where they were lined up this morning, from all the way to the Gulf Coast. Wilton Manors at Hagen Park, 2020 Wilton Drive. Cooper City. I see some of these say hours to come, and I just hate to get people going to places and then, surprise, Cooper City, ice, water, and food will be available at Brian Piccolo Park, 9501 Sheridan Street, hours to come. Coral Springs, just call 954-344-1001, and they'll be happy to tell you where to go, I'm sure. Dania Beach, we already did that. Hollywood, residents can pick up water at Oakland. Let's see. See, they're repeating stuff on here. This is the Herald, or the Sun Sentinel, like I said. The Herald did much better. Lauderdale Lakes, it just has a number. Lauderhill, ice and water at the City Hall Park at 1900 Northwest 55th Avenue. Miramar, residents can call 954-602-4357 for city service questions. Curfew from 7 p.m. till 7 a.m. until further notice. North Lauderdale, shelter at Park Lakes Elementary School, 3925 North State Road, 7 Lauderdale Lakes. 2 truckloads of ice and water will be available. This is yesterday. See, they didn't redo this in the Sun Sentinel. They suck. Plantation, call the Citizens Hotline at 954-585-2363. 585-2363. Sunrise is offering updates on its website, but nobody's got power, so that's kind of stupid. What do you expect in Sunrise? Tamarack, they got a hurricane helpline, 954-724-2436. Weston, residents can call 954-385-2000. Wilton Manors, call 954-831-4000. Oh, good God. In Boca, and see, these are just ice and water distribution centers, and these were for yesterday, so who knows if they still have them. See, it would be nice if they would, give an update on these things in the Sun Sentinel. You lunatics, you maniacs.
You fairy.
Here's what the Herald says. Dade County. I mean, like I said yesterday, we're doing the best we can, but some of these places are either going to be out, and they're not doing a good job of updating the stuff either, are they?
No.
Distribution centers for ice, water, other supplies in Dade County. Home Depot, 15750 Southwest 88th Street. The Metro Zoo, Harris Field, 1034 Northeast 8th Street in Homestead. Amelia Earhart Park, 401 East 65th Street. Hi, Aaliyah. The Orange Bowl, Miami-Dade North, Miami-Dade Kendall, 80 Barnes Park at 341 Southwest 72nd Avenue. Tamiami Park, the Mall at 163rd Street. Landmark Property, 2600 Northwest 47th Ave. Oh, there's a list here of 50,000 of these, by the way. Hadley Park, 1400 Northwest 50th Street. Miami City Hall, 3500 Pan American Drive. In Broward. Oh, here you go. This is updated. Like I said, let's hear it for the Herald. All right. About time they did something good.
Woot.
No, this is updated. Plantation Heritage Park, 1100 South Fig Tree Lane, Plantation. I know it well. Pompano Park Harness Track. See, I told you. Josh told you. Even though they're not communicating with us, Pompano Park has got water and ice and making things nice. And maybe they'll let you go through the stable area there and you can find some other interesting things. Tamarack Community Center, 8601 West Commercial Boulevard. There was a guy sitting next to me the other morning at Woodbine. It was obviously one of the horsemen. And he obviously had been doing the two-step in it, or three-step, or something. And he just kept not winning, but you know what I mean, just hanging on, putting in another 20, another. Oh, please, old Italian guy, obviously a trainer or something. Please, take that stuff away. Do you ever like it? I don't want to get into it.
Don't get into it.
Markham Park, 16001 West State Road 84 in Sunrise. North Community Park, 5601 Coral Springs Drive in Coral Springs. Quiet Waters Park, 401 South Powerline Road, Deerfield Beach. Hollywood Dog Track we gave you. Hollywood Holiday Park, 800 North Federal Highway, Fort Lauderdale. The Collins Community Center, named after Dennis, of course, 3900 Northeast 3rd Avenue, Oakland Park, or maybe Joe Collins. City Hall Complex, 2100 Northwest 55th Ave, Lauderhill. Dan Witt Park, 4500 Northeast 22nd Ave, Lighthouse Point. Miramar City Hall, 2300 Civic Center Place in Miramar, at the intersection of Hiatus and Red Roads. Rolling Oaks Park, 17630 Southwest 56th Street in Southwest Ranches. Brian Piccolo Park, 9501 Sheridan Street. Treetops Park, we don't want to plug that because until we find out they got stuff. Fort Lauderdale City Hall, 100 North Andrews Avenue. The Oakwood Plaza, 3000 Oakwood Boulevard, Hollywood. In Monroe County, Key West High School, Sugarloaf School, Marathon Airport, Coral Shores High School, mile marker 90. And we know that Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach and Monroe County schools closed all week. Archdiocese of Miami schools closed in Dade, Broward, and Monroe counties pending further notice. The brainwashing will stop for a few days. ACT college admission and placement exams postponed at ACT centers across South Florida. Students to be notified of the makeup date. FIU closed all week. University of Miami closed until Monday, as if it makes a difference. Homecoming events canceled. Football game proceeds. But didn't they change the time on it till noon? The Hurricane game?
Well, like with a sports station or something?
Well, I heard it. I heard a promo from some homo that they changed it till noon, I believe, on Saturday.
Well, we don't
the
know,
Hurricane game. University of Miami closed all week. I think we just said that. Berry University closed all week. Miami-Dade College closed today. FAU closed all week. Lynn University closed yesterday. Well, that's good. BCC closed through Sunday. Nova closed through Sunday. The Art Institute of Fort Lauderdale closed until Monday. Carlos Albizu University closed today. What is that? Carlos Albizu? Miami International is reopened. Fort Lauderdale Hollywood Airport closed till further notice. We're not getting any more reports about that. I'm scouring. I'm looking. I just nothing good. Palm Beach International is open. There's something to think about, those people trying to figure out a way to get back or get out. Palm Beach. I bet you Dimes to Donuts, that's where the Momeister came into. You think?
Probably.
Because he lives in Boca.
Right there,
Doesn't that make a lot of sense?
Sure does.
Florida Keys Marathon, open daylight hours only, the airport, and Key West International Airport is pending, whatever that means, patent pending. Passengers advised to call their airline to determine when service will resume out of Miami and Fort Lauderdale. Some flights not operating even though Miami is open, for example. Just call the airline, and when in doubt, check it out. I'm not giving the airline numbers, okay? If you can't do that for yourself, your mama. Miami-Dade Transit, Metro Rail service suspended 3 to 5 days for repairs. A bus bridge to public buses parallel to the Metro Rail. I don't know what that means. Buses running on limited route. Buses are running on a Sunday schedule. Monroe County JGT bus from Homestead to Key West route resumes today. Suspended until further notice, the Broward County Transit. Ports of Miami-Dade, Everglades, and Palm Beach open today to daytime vessel traffic. Miami closed to cargo traffic till tomorrow. Port Everglades is pending. Alligator Alley, tolls suspended east and westbound directions. Florida Turnpike, tolls reinstated today. Oh, I see. Between exits 242 and 309. Tolls remain suspended for Turnpike exits 1 to 242. The Polk Parkway, tolls suspended. I wonder if that's where Polk Salad Annie hangs it out.
That's cute.
Sawgrass Expressway, 869, tolls suspended north and southbound. Sunshine Skyway Bridge, tolls suspended northbound. Miami-Dade Expressway Authority, all tolls suspended, including the Dolphin, the Don Shula, the Gratney, Snapper Creek Expressways. The causeways into Miami Beach restricted during curfew hours of 8 p.m. to 6 a.m., including the Venetian, the Julia Tuttle, the 79th Street, the MacArthur Causeways. Be prepared to show ID. The Gestapo is going to be stopping you there. If you don't have ID, you don't have a reason to be there. If you don't live there, get lost. Amtrak. Dade, Monroe, and Broward stations closed today. Auto Train resumes the southbound service between Lorton, Virginia, and Sanford. Oh, let's go to Lorton, Virginia.
All right.
New York to Miami Silver Star and Silver something northbound and southbound trains out of Orlando today and tomorrow. They're running. Courts, let's see, closed today, closed till Monday. U.S. District Court, 11th Judicial Court, 16th the 16th Judicial Court in Monroe County is open today for limited service. Postal service delivery resumes today in most of Dade, Broward, and Monroe. Services may be unavailable or limited in some locations. Power outages may delay sorting of your mail. Okay, so feel better about mailing out your checks for your bills because it'll probably take a while. Every time you expect that, like they go through the bank the next day.
Right.
All right?
Oh, yeah. They don't do that.
A lot more to come, by the way. Got lists and more lists and stuff that has been, well, what am I going to do except pass along the good info, okay? Any more info coming in on the phone?
No.
Well, why not?
I don't know.
Come on, call us in and give us some good... That was good stuff about that Cutler Ridge thing. That was good. Burger King and gas.
Right.
Which I see the connection. 12:14. No, by the way, if you tune in late, no CIA Flamegate announcement today. No indictments today. A little disappointing, but tomorrow or Friday for sure. Whatever it's going to be, que sera, sera.
This is the most disgusting program. I urge everyone to complain to this station.
That's my opinion. I'm Mike Disney.
If you can't stand Hugo Chavez, take him out. If you can't stand Hugo Chavez, take him out. If you rule Venezuela, I'm afraid we'll have to kill you. And with lead we're going to fill you. Take him out. George Bush hates you, so do I. Hugo Chavez, you must die. You are an infected ball. And besides, we need your oil. Die, Hugo Chavez. Die, Hugo Chavez. Die, Hugo Chavez. You dirty, call me wet.
Okay, only 2.7% of Broward homes that lost power have been restored as of 11 o'clock this morning, says Florida Power and Loot. In Dade County, 14.7% of homes are back. See that? They're like kicking our ass. Dade is kicking Broward's butt.
Well, they didn't get it as bad.
System-wide, the utility said nearly 20% of all the customers system-wide who lost power now have electricity. 647,000 out of 3.24 million. Let's see. Well, the rest is the utility is telling customers that half of the darkened homes will be restored within 2 weeks, 95% within 3 weeks, and the rest within 4 weeks. Okay? So unless you're very unlucky. Well, that's a long time, you know?
Yeah, it is.
Wow. I'd get out of there. I'd pack your family up and send them to, like, Aruba.
Oh, man. We got family in North Florida, got the house in the hills there that we could be at. But, hey, some of us have to work.
Anyway, let's get back to this list of stuff, okay, of do's. Let me give our phone number again. Not that we're putting you on the air because we got technical situations, but Josh would be more than ecstatic to pass along some useful information if you got it, like restaurants, gas stations, drugstores, Walgreens, things like that, anything that's open.
Yeah, drugstores is good.
Yeah, 567-0560. 567-0560 or pound 560 on the Verizon singular wireless lines, and Josh will take your info, and if he gives you a bunch of crap, well deserved, I'm sure. Well, no, sir, because he's going to give. Well, can you tell me where? You know, he's not going to put up with that. Believe me.
No.
He's not getting paid enough to put up with that kind of garbage.
It's for taking information, not
that is
getting
right.
it.
I mean, if you want to know a phone number like FEMA or something like that, in fact, I'll tell you right now, 1-800-621-FEMA, 1-800-621-3362. See, so don't bug him with that. So the Postal Service, like I said, resumes today in most of Dade, Broward, and Monroe. Won't be perfect, but then again, hey, they're doing it, man. Trash pickup. Dade County, ongoing assessment. Once the county appraised the damage, debris pickup will begin. City of Miami, regular scheduled garbage collection has resumed already. Moral Gables, trash pickup resumed yesterday, but expect collection a day later than regular scheduled pickup day. Recycling is suspended till further notice. North Miami, regular garbage pickup. Bulk service not operating on schedule. Well, who cares? Broward, unincorporated Broward, garbage, recycling, and bulk trash pickup have been suspended. Hollywood, trash pickup begins tomorrow. George. Good. Miramar, regular trash pickup has resumed. Debris removal to begin November 3rd. Deerfield Beach, regular pickup rescheduled today. Oakland Park, bulk trash pickup for the week of October 24 been rescheduled to the week of something, and it's left off here on our. Well, not now. Okay, week of something. Hurricane debris will be picked up later this week. Residential trash pickup in Oakland Park will begin tomorrow. Lighthouse Point, debris pickup has started. Regular trash pickup on regular schedule. Coral Springs, trash pickup is on tomorrow. Why do people say that? On tomorrow. I hate when they say that.
Do they say that?
Yeah.
That's wrong.
I'll be seeing you on tomorrow. Monroe County, limited garbage pickup begins today. Hospitals. Aventura Hospital and Medical Center, the emergency room is open today. Cleveland Clinic, procedures are canceled today, but the emergency room is open. Jackson Memorial, procedures canceled, clinics closed until further notice. Pregnant women urged to call Jackson Maternity Hotline at 305-585-2229. 585-2229. South Miami and Mariners Hospital reopens today for all services. Baptist, Doctors, and Homestead Hospital remain closed today for outpatient elective procedures. Okay. Public places. I mean, I could go on till midnight, you know.
Might as well.
And why not? Metro Zoo closed until power is restored, although they do have water and ice there for you. That was on the list, right? Or did I dream that?
I forgot.
It was on the list. The Miami Museum of Contemporary Art closed till further notice. Miami Seaquarium closed till further notice. The Parrot Jungle Island closed. North Miami Public Library closed till further notice. The Dolphin Mall partially opened at 10 o'clock this morning. The movie theater will be open. The Falls closed today. So the Dolphin Mall, the movies will be open. Go over there and catch a flick, and it'll...
Sure, watch that Edward R. Murrow movie.
Yeah, that's good. They tell me. And obviously they got generators in there, so they got some AC. And probably the snack bar will be open too, right?
I would imagine.
Get a whole bunch of candy bars, get your teeth all rotted out.
Soda.
Yeah, get some of them big gulps, those big... I'll have a... See, one thing if you go to any place now, say I have a large soda, they bring it to you like in a bathtub.
Mm-hmm.
Residents of these communities are advised to boil drinking water. Miami Beach, Dade County, residents urged to limit water usage for personal hygiene and cooking. The boil water advisory is not in effect. I didn't understand that. Well, did you understand that?
Nope. Say it again.
Okay. I'm just reading what it says here, and part of it is chopped off because the Herald website has got problems. Broward County, these places all have a boil water in effect. Coconut Creek, Deerfield Beach, Fort Lauderdale, Hollywood, Lauderdale Lakes, Lauderhill, Lighthouse Point, Oakland Park, Parkland, Pembroke Park, Plantation, including something, up to Broadview Park in the area north of Sunrise Boulevard between 56th Ave and Sunset Strip. West Park, Miramar, north of Southwest 25th Ave and south of Southwest 10th Street. Tamarack, Wilton Manors, Lauderdale by the Sea, unincorporated area bounded by Broward Boulevard on the south and Northeast 25th the way on the east, Northwest 15th Court on the north, and Northwest 38th Avenue on the other side, whatever it is. What's the other? Southeast, west.
Yeah.
Parks. Do we care about the parks? No.
No.
To report price gouging, here's the price gouging hotline. 866-9-NO-SCAM. Or you can just try dialing 9-NO-SCHMIT. 1-866-9-NO-SCAM. Should I give the auto insurance? Isn't it a little premature for the home or auto insurance claims? I guess not.
I guess not.
Well, it's just three major companies. There's State Farm, 1-800-732-5246. 1-800-732-5246. Allstate Floridian Insurance, 1-800-547-8676. 1-800-547-8676. And Nationwide Insurance, oh no, there's a whole bunch of them. 1-800-421-4535. 1-800-421-4535. USAA, 1-800-531-8222. 531-8222. That tutu keeps rearing its ugly head, doesn't it? Citizens Property Insurance, 1-866-411-CPIC. 411-CPIC. See?
I see.
First Floridian Auto and Home Insurance, 1-800-252-4633. 1-800-252-4633. Progressive Auto Insurance, 1-800-776-4737. 776-4737 for Progressive. Mercury Insurance Group, 1-800-987-6000. 987-6000. National Flood Insurance Program, 1-800-427-4661. 1-800-427-4661. By the way, claimants should have their policy number handy. Don't just call and say, I'm Moshi Pupagat here and I got some problems. Have your policy number with you or it's going to be, you'll hear that dial tone. Now, here's a whole list of events. Friday night fights at the South Florida Fair. Fright Nights canceled till 7 p.m. Friday. Fright Night, 7 p.m. Friday it'll be on. Fort Lauderdale International Boat Show postponed till further notice. They're going to have to, squeeze that down to a very small period of time. The Nine Inch Nails Monday concert at the Bank Atlantic Center postponed. New date TBA. Beach Boys concert postponed till last week in December. Exact date TBA. Bon Jovi. Oh, George is just crestfallen about this.
I'm telling you, I'm weeping.
Tickets set to go on sale Saturday at the Bank Atlantic Center. Will hit the box office at 10. So tickets will go on sale Saturday at the Bank Atlantic Center. And here for a lot of your people, the Domino's tournament. The Florida Foreign Trade Association Domino's tournament indefinitely postponed the tournament, so that's some bad news for all the old green-tooth crowd.
Damn it.
Anything else here of any interest? I mean, no. Pet Clinic. Broward County low-cost pet vaccination clinic postponed till November 19. Oh, and here's the one that we had yesterday that I like so much. Las Ratas Debajo. Did I say that well?
Very
I
well.
love that. Las Ratas Debajo, Rats Below. Premiere postponed till Monday, 8 p.m. at the Teatro Tower. How do you like that?
Incredible.
It is. Okay, so that's some of what's going on. And oh, jeez. My head is swimming from this, you know. It's been a long time since Andrew, thank goodness. Not long enough, though. Remember those days?
Oh, yeah.
Of course, in those days, we had, like, Chuck Meyer, and we had Jennifer Rem, and we had, like,
a news team.
A news team, like on a... Back in the day, man, when it was like a real talk and news station as opposed to a sports news station. I mean, what does any of this crap got to do with ball games?
This is Neil Rogers. It's time to get it on.
Kenny and Renee, 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 Kenny and Renee. I remember when I heard the news, felt like I was loaded up on booze. When the movie stars said happily, I will marry country singer Kenny Chesney. Didn't know each other for too long. She drinks wine and he owns a bomb. Renee had the cowboy at hello, but now it's time for him to pack his saddle and go. So it's over, there's no more love and no more hot passion anymore. Poor Renee got her heart broken like when she played Bridget Jones. 127 days of marriage, now it's done. I guess that Wicked didn't think that watching tractor pose was fun. Now, Kenny and Renee go their separate ways. Nothing left to say. Ken'll take his steps in hat. She will get the cat.
far. Their marriage was bizarre.
You failed. 12:33 at QAM. The Momeister back at 2, and then the Mad Dog at 4, and then a bunch of hurricane stuff. I guess is appropriate.
All right, can I just go nuts here because I have a million things to read. All right, I have gas stations on 144th and US 1, 124th and US 1. There's 2 open on 152nd and US 1. There's a Wendy's on 139th and US 1.
All right.
There's a Burger King on 132nd and US 1. There's a Home Depot on 136th and US 1. The Aventura Mall food court open till 6, and they're serving everything supposedly. So
excellent.
So that's close enough. What else?
We could get falafels.
We've been reading. There's a Home Depot in Kendall, and a guy called and said they have nothing. To stop reading that they have everything. So if you want to cross
wait a
that
minute.
off.
Did I ever say anybody has everything? When did I say that?
Well, water and ice. That's what I'm talking about.
Oh.
The Home Depot.
So
they have nothing. They're turning people away. So
I see.
a guy said that. There's in Pompano on Powerline, a lot of gas stations are open right by Palm Air, which is Pompano Park area, right there on like Cypress Creek and Powerline and McNabb and Powerline. There's a couple gas stations open. That's all I got.
Well, that's great. See, and then they can go over to Pompano Park, get some ice and water, and maybe a few snacks or whatever they're handing out, or some of them horse droppings, and then they can get gas in the hood too. I do have Maureen Dowd's column, which I probably should read. Okay, it's called "Dick at the Heart of Darkness."
Okay.
About your vice president. I'll save most of this for tomorrow because we're not going to get the indictments today anyway. And your president
on terror is.
Yeah. Poll: Bush would lose an election if held this year. A majority would vote for a Democrat over Bush if an election were held this year. Too bad it's not. The latest poll released yesterday, 55% of the respondents said they would vote for the Democratic candidate, and this is just a generic anybody.
Yeah, anyone.
If
dog.
Bush, what?
If a dog ran.
Right. If Tiny were able to run, and even in his present condition, they might vote for him. They say. And only 1 in 10 Americans said they believe the Bush administration official did nothing illegal or unethical in connection with the leaking of Valerie Plame. Only 1 in 10. 90% say something happened. 39% said some administration officials acted illegally in the matter. And the same percentage, 39%, said Bush administration officials acted unethically but not necessarily illegal. So there you go. Now, Maureen Dowd writes, Dick at the Heart of Darkness. After W. was elected, he sometimes gave visitors a tour of the Love Alcove off the Oval Office where Bill trysted with Monica, the notorious spot where his predecessor had dishonored the White House. At least it was only a little pantry and a little panting. If W. wants to show people now where the White House has been dishonored in far more astounding and deadly ways, he'll have to haul them around every nook and cranny of his vice president's office, then go across the river for a walk of shame through the Rummy Empire at the Pentagon. The shocking thing about the trellis of revelation showing Dick Cheney, the self-styled Mr. Strong America, as the central figure in the dark conspiracies to juice up a case for war and demonize those who try to tell the public the truth, is how unshocking it all is. It's exactly what we thought was going on, but we never thought we'd actually hear the lurid details. Cheney and Rummy, the two old good compadres from the Nixon and Ford days, in a cabal running the country and the world into the ground, driven by their poisonous obsession with Iraq, while Junior is out of the loop playing in the gym or on his mountain bike. Mr. Cheney's been so well protected by his Praetorian Guard all these years that it's been hard for the public to see his dastardly deeds and petty schemes. But now, because of Patrick Fitzgerald's investigation and candid talk from Brent Scowcroft and Lawrence Wilkerson, he's been flushed out as the heart of darkness. Also, furious strands lead back to the man W. aptly named Vice. According to a Times story yesterday, Scooter Libby first learned about Joseph Wilson's CIA. Why? From his boss, Mr. Cheney, not from reporters as he had originally suggested. And Mr. Cheney learned it from George Tenet, according to Mr. Libby's notes. The Bush Hawks presented themselves as protectors and exporters of American values, but they were so feverish about protecting the alternate reality that they constructed to link Saddam and Al-Qaeda and fulfilling their idea fixe about invading Iraq, they perverted American values. Whether or not it turns out to be illegal, outing a CIA agent, undercover or not, simply to undermine her husband's story is rovishly sleazy. This no-leak administration was perfectly willing to leak to hurt anybody who got in its way. Vice also pressed for a loophole so the CIA could do torture light on prisoners in U.S. custody, but John McCain rebuffed his tortureness. Senator McCain has sponsored a measure to bar the cruel treatment of prisoners because he knows this is not who we are. Remember the days when the only torture was listening to politicians reciting their best TV lines at dinner parties? Colonel Wilkerson, the former chief of staff for Colin Powell, broke the code and denounced Vice's vortex, calling his own involvement in Mr. Powell's UN speech infected with bogus Cheney and Scooter malarkey the lowest point of his life. He followed that with a blast of blunt talk in a speech in the op-ed piece in the L.A. Times, saying that foreign policy had been hijacked by a secretive little-known cabal that hated dissent. He said the cabal was headed by Mr. Cheney, a vice president who speaks only to Rush Limbaugh and assembled military forces, and Donald Rumsfeld, a Secretary of Defense presiding over the death by 1,000 cuts of our overstretched armed forces. I believe that the decisions of this cabal were sometimes made with the full and witting support of the President, and sometimes with something less, Colonel Wilkerson wrote. More often than not, then National Security Advisor Condoleezza Rice was simply steamrolled by this cabal. Poor Condoleezza. Brent Scowcroft, Bush's senior close friend, let out a shriek this week to Jeffrey Goldberg in The New Yorker, revealing his estrangement from W. and his old protege Condi. He disdained Paul Wolfowitz as a naive utopian and said he didn't know his old friend Dick Cheney anymore. Vice's alliance with the neocons, who were determined to finish in Iraq what Mr. Scowcroft and Poppy had declared finished, led him to lead the nation into a morass. Troop deaths are now at 2,000, a gruesome milestone. The reason I part with the neocons is that I don't think in any reasonable time frame the objective of democratizing the Middle East can be successful, Scowcroft said. If you can do it, fine, but I don't think you can. And in the process of trying to do it, you can make the Middle East a lot worse. W should take the Medal of Freedom away from Mr. Tennant and give the medals to Colonel Wilkerson and Mr. Scowcroft. That's Maureen Dowd's column. Now, here's the latest FP&L numbers as of 11. In, let's see, do we really care about some of these? No. In Broward, 839,200 people still are out with power. 23,600 restored. Boy, that's weak. Weak. Well, I understand they had those substations blown out, right? Let's make all the excuses we can for them.
Why are they so fragile?
In Palm Beach County, 606,700 people still without power, 56,800 restored. And in Dade County, where they seem to be doing the best, not too good on elections in Dade, but boy, 815,500 were out and 141,000 have been restored. 815,500 still out of the original 950s, almost a million originally in Dade. Ready for that?
I'm ready.
So that's the latest as of 11 o'clock this morning. And now I got a list, 14 pages from the Sun-Sentinel. And, I'm a little bit leery about reading anything from them, although some of these I'll peruse. Because, for example, to show you how much better a job the Herald is doing of being updated, in the middle of this it says U.S. Postal Service in Broward, Dade, Monroe has been curtailed. Well, we know that's not true. We know that the postal people are doing their thing. I think a lot of this is still from yesterday. They're just, you're lazy there at the Sun-Sentinel, okay? Get those damn gerbils together there and get them, put them in the meat grinder or something. Get them going.
We don't have any power up here.
Yeah, too bad. I'm going to give the Bank Atlantic places opening. We're not getting listings of any other banks that are open, which is kind of shocking to me. Isn't that shocking?
It is.
Because people need their cash, man. They need that ATM to be open. They want to go in there and get some cash so if they do find gas open or food or something to survive on, maybe, just maybe, they might be able to pay for it.
This is Neil Rogers.
The sky is falling.
Well, he's a Tallahassee Nazi who got the money from his daddy. And anti-Semite little bratty. With an agenda that's crappy.
Absolutely.
Well, he's the Tallahassee Nazi of the FLA. Well, he's a presidential son who doesn't have to run. No one else is gonna win. He might as well just move right in.
Sieg Heil, Sieg Heil, Sieg Heil, Sieg Heil.
He has a golden spoon. He was born with up his ass. So look out, all you Jews. Get ready for the gas. He's a Tallahassee Nazi. He'll give our civil rights a whammy. Cause he's a Tallahassee Nazi. Love of the FLA.
You fairy.
Well, he's a very wealthy dude with very fascist views who never paid his dues. By next year, we'll all be screwed.
Sieg Heil, Sieg Heil, Sieg Heil, Sieg Heil.
Any schmuck could win that race against Buddy McKay. Why do you think they call it gubernatorial anyway? He's a Tallahassee Nazi. He'll make the KKK happy. Yeah, he's a Tallahassee Nazi. Love of FLA. Come on, let's two-step. Come on, Adolf. Let's go.
You see him on all these press conferences on there and reassuring everybody, and they're all prepared, and FEMA's going to do a great job. And confidence is non-existent. Not low, but just non-existent. Okay, the following Bank Atlantic stores are now open. Dade County, Doral 8705 Northwest 35th Lane. South Miami, 6202 South Dixie Highway. Flagler, 7900 West Flagler Street. Kendale Lakes, 8701 Southwest 137th Ave. Hialeah, 1455 West 49th Street. Kendall, 11400 North Kendall Drive. 1 Biscayne Boulevard at 2 South Biscayne Boulevard. 1 Biscayne. Brickell at 1101 Brickell Avenue. In Broward, Bank Atlantic open at North Coral Springs, 4695 North University Drive. South Pembroke at 11200 Pines Boulevard. Jacaranda, 1901 North Pine Island Road. And Mainlands at 4211 West Commercial Boulevard at the mobile ATM van. Didn't I have more than that? I think. Well, I got such a huge pile here. I mean, I got those 14 pages from the Sun Sentinel, some of which might be accurate, but I wouldn't count on it.
I got some new stuff as well.
Goody. Great, excellent. Let's lay it on them.
The Target at Dadeland is open. There's a little Asian cafe called La Pan Asian Cafe at Dadeland Station, 8332 South Dixie Highway. They're open till 7.
Excellent. And the Metro Deli.
Also,
70 Northeast. Beg your pardon?
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, you got more?
I was just going to say, right up the street from the station at 441 Ives Dairy, the Stadium Diner's open.
What do you mean right up the street? It's right across the street.
Yeah,
right.
over
yonder. Right next to Chuck's. Right next to Chuck's Subcenter. The Stadium Diner is open. Man, now, did they bring you anything? No. Come on. Well, I'm sure that somebody in there will go run across the street and bring you guys something. It's
Come on, Lisa. All the money I dropped in that place?
Yeah.
Lisa's the owneress.
Come on, Lisa, let's go over there at the Stadium Diner. We got some starving people that are working over hot microphones, man, slaving over hot telephones.
Bring me a chili burger would be nice.
Doing a tremendous pubic service here, passing along all this information. In fact, I was just thinking, which is unusual for me, I wouldn't be surprised if, like, tomorrow I get a FedEx from down here, from the Beasleys, who are, probably underwater, with a check for $100,000 in it for me to split up among us three. And so I'm thinking so I'm thinking I give about 50 to George and about 40 to Josh. Dollars, that is.
Yeah.
No, don't you think we ought to get, like, something extra for this?
Yeah,
We've
something.
done a yeoman. Well, of course, with the tremendous help of the QAM News Department, that's another reason that it's such a joke. The tremendous QAM News ability. If it doesn't have to do with a ball game or somebody wearing a jockstrap, we know absolutely nothing about it, okay? So the fact that we're able to do this just with the internets and our own, stupidity. Okay, that's enough. Don't forget, Mo's back this afternoon at 2. He'll tell you about his travails and travels. Okay, Mo. Metro Deli, 70 Northeast 2nd Street is open in downtown Miami. You can call them at 305-371-3859. Order ahead. Oh, that sounds really good. Wouldn't that be nice for some kishki right now? Especially to celebrate Simchas Torah.
Sure.
I don't know what you do on Simchas Torah, but there must be something.
Oh, I could go back to that website.
I bet you the Hasidim are really PO'd about this now. This is really bad to have all the power out on Simchas Torah. I wonder if it affects your mezuzah. It's a good thing it didn't happen on Hanukkah. Maybe it might affect the way the dreidel spins. Anyway, I did the Bank Atlantic, right? Let me do that thing about FEMA also, please.
Please.
Broward County has been approved for FEMA assistance for both small business and individuals. The number to call is 1-800-621-3362. 1-800-621-FEMA. People must save all receipts because FEMA assistance is only for reimbursement. It was announced at the Broward Emergency Operations Center this morning. 1-800-621-FEMA, 621-3362. Rumors that Miami-Dade has widespread water contamination has also fueled the mania for bottled water, as people perhaps unnecessarily are standing in line for hours. Oh, the shame. Not that people panic, you understand, not that people start getting real nervous and overly psychotic. The only ones facing water problems in Dade County, residents of Miami Beach, which has a boil water order, and those reliant on well water and lack the power to work the pumps. If you live in Dade County, you're standing in line for water, go home, said Dade Commissioner Carlos Jimenez, probably close kin to Jose. Open up the tap and drink all you want, he said. Well, it's easy for him to say. One man was that this is in Dade County, by the way. Please understand that, except for residents of Miami Beach and those who have well water. One man was so angry about the tainted water that he angrily confronted another commissioner outside his district office in West Dade. He came at me yelling, "I'm not going to give my son contaminated water," said Jose P.P. Diaz, shaking his head in disbelief. I told him, "Sir, your water is fine. Hold your water. Your water is fine." Nice going, P.P. But delays in getting the distribution sites up and running yesterday was a frustration for local officials. Dade mayor had even hopped on a helicopter late in the evening and flew to Homestead Air Reserve Base, the staging ground for FEMA supplies. There were some kinks, he said. One of the problems, local officials announced the time sites would be open before the inventory actually arrived. When the supply trucks were delayed leaving Homestead, folks already had been in line for hours. See, there's a little premature evaluation, not a good idea. Don't get people's hopes up and then force them to get there real early and have them stand there for extra hours, because then they get pissed off. And then they remember that law that went into effect in Florida October 1, and they say, bada bing, okay, we're not going to put up with this crap no mo. We want our water, we want our ice, etc., and so on. We want all of these things. How do you like that?
All of these things.
Okay. I'm incoherent from this.
Oh, it's great. You're doing a hell of a job. You deserve every penny of that bonus check they're going to send you.
Yeah, wait till we get that big bonus check from the Beasleys if they ever get out from underwater. Although, to be honest with you, if Joyce don't come up, it'll be well worth it.
The least they should do...
We'll pass on the bonus as long as Joyce don't come back.
Speaking of bonus, the least they should do is give us the full bonus instead of half for that summer book.
That's an excellent point. A very good point. Let's suspend that 50% bonus bullcrap for the summer book, considering the tremendous life-risking job we're doing. Look at me, for crying out loud. I'm sitting here in my high-rise.
Especially some of us don't work less during the summer, but
putting my life on the line.
Yeah?
Yeah. Put my life on the line instead of plunging at Woodbine, and that would be fine. With money that was all mine. At any rate.
And okay,
I already gave this. Yeah. See, I got so much stuff here, I don't know what I'm giving and not giving. Now, here's this 75,000 pages from the Sun Sentinel. You see, I knew that reading on the air eventually would come in handy. Something useful I might put on the air, huh? All those people like Miguel there. How's Miguel doing, by the way? Is he around?
He showed up, and then I think he took off again.
Really?
He's got the newborn, so he has, issues of his own.
Does he really? Sounds like a pretty lame-ass excuse to me. And what the hell is Adam doing there? Why is the sales department working? What are they going to do, sell spots?
They're going to try.
And this Troy Stratford, it's very disconcerting to me. I'm glad we at least found the thing about Pompano Park having the water and ice. But that was in the Sun Sentinel or the Herald somewhere. It was not from inside the building, not from anybody giving us any information. And maybe they don't have power over there to send me a fax, right?
Right, at least. Our fax works.
Because I'm sure that there's no racing over there tonight, because if you don't have any power, you don't have any lights. And even though some of those guys over there probably would do a lot better in the dark, I just don't think it's going to happen. Well, anyway, here's what's on and what's not. Some of these I read yesterday. I'm not going to waste my time with these again, like the Adolf and Rose Levis Jewish Community Center in Boca for Simchas Torah. Forget about it. National Walk for Hope to Cure Breast Cancer benefiting City of Hope has been rescheduled for November 6th at the Sawgrass Mills. Let's see, they got a few Bank Atlantic branches, but not as many as I had. The Sun Sentinel is just not up on this. Maybe because it's a Broward thing and they're having some problems, okay? Let's cut them some slack. Not. And some of these things they're putting on there, it's dated October 26th, which is today, but it's got like the town center in Boca will be closed Tuesday. Well, Tuesday was yesterday, you jackass, you idiot.
You fairy.
Yeah. The hell's that? Look at this. They got the date for today, and they got Broward schools will be closed Tuesday, Dade schools will be closed Tuesday. I think I wasted 14 pages of fax paper. How many maple trees did they have to cut down up here for to print this paper?
Too many.
Right? FIU will be closed Tuesday and until further notice. We don't care about Tuesday, okay? This is old news, man. This is sad, and this is also the same bunch of nonsense where they got the thing about the postal service has been curtailed. Curtail this. I'm throwing this out. I don't trust anything that they put in these lists.
All right.
No, seriously, I'm throwing it out. I don't want to read stuff that's either 8 years old or incorrect.
Might as well. Let's take some calls instead.
Let's not. We can't.
No.
Can't do it. And by the way, somebody ought to be looking into that situation right now.
I got something you can trust. And
yes.
That our friends Howie's are open.
Oh!
Only for pickup, though.
Only for what?
Only for pickup, no delivery. That's 2430 South State Road 7.
Well, who's going to go and get you your Howie's?
We'll just have to pick some up on the way out.
There you go.
And another bulletin that I thought was kind of cool on West 49th Street in Hialeah, a gas station. A huge fight broke out with like 40, 50 people. The SWAT team had to go down there.
All right.
I'm hoping to see that on the news.
That's your hot-headed people, George.
Yeah, well.
In Hialeah. Or maybe they were late for the cockfights. Maybe that was it. I have no word on whether they've been postponed or not.
I think they go on rain or shine.
Yeah, Sweetwater and Hialeah. Cockfights, rain or shine. Oh, here's the thing about Simchas Torah that somebody faxed in. Thank you so much. I'm a professional Jew. Simchas Torah means rejoicing in the Torah. This holiday marks the completion of the annual cycle of weekly Torah readings. Baruch atah Adonai kachsachoy your mama. Each week in synagogue, we publicly read a few chapters from the Torah, starting with Genesis chapter 1, the silliest one of all, and working our way around to Deuteronomy 34. On Simchas Torah, we read the last Torah portion, then proceed immediately to the first chapter of Genesis, reminding us that the Torah is a circle and never ends. The completion of the readings is a time of great celebration. There are processions around the synagogue carrying Torah scrolls and plenty of high-spirited singing and dancing, like that, with the Torahs. Don't drop the Torah, by the way, you'll burn in hell. Drinking is also common during this time. In fact, a traditional source recommends performing the priestly blessing earlier than usual in the service to make sure the Kohanim are not drunk when the time comes. Are the Kohanim like the Goyim? As many people as possible are given honor of Aliyah, reciting a blessing over the Torah reading. In fact, even children are called for Aliyah, blessing on Simchas Torah. In addition, as many people as possible are given the honor of carrying a Torah scroll in these processions. Children don't carry the scrolls. They're much too heavy. They might drop it, and then they burn in hell. But often follow the procession around the synagogue, sometimes carrying a small toy Torahs, stuffed plush toys or paper scrolls. Isn't that cute? A little toy.
Aww.
I got a little toy one. In some synagogues, confirmation ceremonies or ceremonies marking the beginning of a child's Jewish education are held at this time. Shemini Atzeret and Simchas Torah holidays in which work is not permitted. No se permisa aquí. How do you like that? So all you Jews, go home.
This is Neil Rogers.
Just the 1 to 2 hour. It's a phenomenon.
I'm dying over here.
It got to be the dumbest thing I've heard, but you're all running scared about the bird. Even Alfred Hitchcock would be amused with all the phony publicity about the alien. There's information they don't want you to know, so the fear factor keeps you under control. Weeks of confusion's what they're handing you, with all the phony publicity about the alien. Today and Rose will soon be sharing the show in the marriage televised, I hope. That's not something you'll see on the news, with all the phony publicity about the alien. We are a nation of gullible sheep, led by a simpleton retarded breed. Posse comitatus is what they want to do, with all the phony publicity about the alien.
102 at 560 WQAM. Happy Simchas Torah to you, by the way. Okay, now the Palm Beach Post, which I should have been checking their stuff more often because it seems to me that they're doing a stellar job, at least partially.
Yeah.
Because they updated this as of 12:34 p.m. today, which is only half an hour ago. State and federal trucks were delayed loading and unloading supplies to release 10 distribution sites this morning, Assistant Palm Beach County Administrator Vince Bonavento said. Officials were taking caution after yesterday's confusion, where state trucks stocked with supplies arrived at the South Florida Fairgrounds and not the distribution sites themselves as anticipated. 2 trucks of water, 2 trucks of ice, and 1 truck of ready-to-eat meals are at these locations in Palm Beach County. Calorie Judge Grove, 4001 Seminole Pratt Whitney Road, Loxahatchee. Palm Beach Community College, 4200 South Congress Avenue in Lake Worth. The South County Civic Center, 16700 Jog Road, unincorporated Delray. South Florida Fairgrounds, 9600 Southern Boulevard, unincorporated West Palm. And Belgrade Fire Station at 525 Southwest 2nd Street. Maybe they'll even let you slide up and down the greased pole at that place, huh?
Maybe, if you're lucky.
Supplies were on the way to Roger Dean Stadium in Jupiter, and now North County Court. Part of this is chopped off again. I hate when that happens, don't you? What? These locations are scheduled to open by the early afternoon in Palm Beach. Pompey Park, Pompey, Pompey Park, 1101 Northwest 2nd Street, Delray Beach. Wells Recreation Complex, 2409 West Avenue H in Riviera Beach. Gaines Park, 1501 Australian Avenue, West Palm. And the Boca Municipal Center, 6500 Congress Avenue North. Let's see. Palm Beach International is open. First flights departed this morning. Miami International open. Yada, yada, yada. Of course, Fort Lauderdale, forget about it. Port of Palm Beach is open. St. Mary's Hospital and Good Samaritan Hospital have running water. It goes on. Well, that's it. I don't want to get into stuff that's like maybe it's this and maybe it's that. No way. We're not going to play that game, are we? No. So Howie's is open. And the Stadium Diner's open. I'm sure that you got like omelets and all kinds of stuff that came across already.
Come on, Johnny. Come on, Lisa. Send us a chili burger. Bacon cheeseburger.
That would be good. By 1:30, okay? These guys are going to want a vamoose at 2 o'clock.
Hey, well, they could send some to-go orders to take home.
That would be good. Now, where are you going to get your gas on the way home for your
generator? Oh, that's a good question. I'm going to be driving around until I run out of gas, apparently.
Well, with all these gas stations that we got called in today, you ought to be a piece of cake.
Yeah, cake. Look at the TV.
And the line shouldn't be longer than from all the way to Tallahassee.
Thanks for reminding me. They just showed on the TV some crazy person being turned away because he showed up at the gas line with an empty jug of Tide and an old paint bucket. And obviously they're not going to let you put gas in those things. And
why not?
This crazy old crackers walking off, cursing and screaming.
Oh, he had a bunch of crazy old crackers too, huh?
Yeah. So
what a combo.
Have a gas canister.
Yeah, that's probably a pretty good idea. Of course, if you don't have a gas canister, George will loan you his.
Yeah,
you can't find nothing to put in it anyway. Right?
Right.
Now, is there any of the stuff that we want to repeat? Because I got my other regular stuff. Huh? I don't want to go through this whole thing about the city-by-city damage. I did that yesterday. Well, what's the point? No. Look around. Look around and you'll see it.
I like that article you read. You should read some more of that, even though you didn't
What
want
article?
to. Like that Marine Dowd, yeah. You got more like that, I'm sure.
Oh, you are so bad. The instigator, man. The agitator and instigator. Bad. No, I just want to make sure I get all this info on here, and I know that, not everybody was tuned right in there at 10 o'clock this morning or whenever the Humper and I finished our crossover, and if there's stuff that needs to be put on here. Are you keeping a list of those gas stations?
Yeah.
What do we got? Let's give those again, because we got the new ones there at Cutler Ridge is good, and the Burger King and the Wendy's. Oh, man.
Oh! Broward Boulevard between Pine Island and University. That's at Jacaranda Plaza there. Citgo.
Hey, don't forget Jacaranda, it's open too. Pizza.
Between 441 and Riverside, wherever the hell that is, like up in West Palm or somewhere like that. The Sunoco on Sample in Riverside. BP west of the Palmetto and 58th, which I don't understand that, but that's what it says here. BP and Sunoco on Sterling and Palm. A BP on 120th and Coral Way. A Citgo on 37th Avenue on the Palmetto. A BP in Hollywood on Harding Street. Old Griffin and US 1 BP, and then what Josh just read there, 144th in US 1, 124th in US 1, and 152nd in US 1. I assume those are Dade County addresses.
Yeah.
So, and that's
US 1 is in Dade County?
Last time I checked. Well, I mean, it's all over the place, but those street numbers would be in Dade County.
Yeah, Federal Highway is Broward.
Also, I got some new stuff also.
Please.
Papa John's in Cooper City, Sheridan, and on Flamingo are open, just pickup only, obviously. And there's a place called the Chicken Grill on 258th Street that is serving. That's all I got.
Okay, that's good, though. More and more.
I'm sorry. One more thing. The
Yes?
Miramar City Hall, it ran out of food and water, but 5 trucks just showed up with it. By the way, why do I keep saying that? Water and ice. 5 trucks.
Yeah, you keep throwing the food in there.
I don't know.
Because
look, can you tell I'm hungry? Okay.
You're dying for the food over there. And I would think that Howie's would have sent somebody down there already. They would be aware. They're like they're practically part of our business. They're like in bed with us, so to speak.
Family.
Yeah, or at least the Stadium Diner. It's right across the street, for crying out loud. Although one time I had that omelet from there. It was very good, but I had those egg farts all day. I mean, just
that's going to happen. Lisa could bring it over personal. She's hot.
Come on, Lisa, get with it. Bring something for these guys to munch on.
And some food,
now, here's Lawrence. Just shut up. From the L.A. Times, Lawrence Wilkerson, I had that article yesterday, but this is a follow-up, okay? And again, I'm not sending a whole bunch of stories to you for the website, which I know breaks your heart, but it's just, there's no point to it because there's nobody that's got any power, and I've deluded myself into believing that all these people around the rest of the world are looking at our website, reading the stories. They may be going on our website, and obviously they are, but I don't know what they're doing on it. I don't know what the deal is.
I agree. We should be on strike with those stories.
Yeah, we're going to start striking with the stories until you people start reading them. How do you like that? And then, of course, when you get your power back. We do have 743 votes on the poll. I bet you we get to 1,000 by the end of the week, maybe. Who or what do you fear the most? George W. Bush.
Pockets of the people.
Yeah, that's what he's picking. He's picking the pockets of the people and his nose. George W. Bush, 192. They fear religious nuts, 186. Loss of freedom, 63. All those three tied together very tightly. South Florida drivers, 38. Dick Cheney, 36. Old age, 34. Black folks, 28. Terrorists, 27. Job loss, 25. Hurricanes, 21. STDs, 15. Of course, the people that fear the hurricanes most, they ain't got no power. Bird flu, 15. Gays, 14. World War, 13. Cops, 12. Tornadoes, 8. Criminals, 7. Flying, 6. And Joel Feinberg's got 3. He only wishes he had a 3. They never cracked a 2.5 in any hour in the hour by hour in this last summer book. Never cracked it. In fact, I think, what was the biggest number? 2.4? 2.2? 2.2.
2.2 or 2.4, something like that.
And that was Dan LeBastard. Probably some of his people, And Stu Gatz. A punishing pummeling. You think that you got pummeled by the hurricane? $7.90 the ticket took a pummeling like you wouldn't believe in that summer book. Humper did well. Mo Meister made a nice comeback there, the new and improved Mo, with that big bald spot. Mad Dog did his usual fine job. And, of course, we kicked ass. We, mostly George. With a 7-point share. How do you like that? I should have probably played that all day today. Not that we want to sound selfish, because people are trying to get their lives back together again, get a little bit of gas, get some power, get some food, get water.
We're number one, damn it!
But hey, we'll still take it. Lawrence B. Wilkerson in the L.A. Times writes, the White House cabal, he served as chief of staff to Roland Powell. In President Bush's first term, some of the most important decisions about U.S. national security, including vital decisions about post-war Iraq, were made by a secretive, little-known cabal made up of a very small group of people led by Dick Cheney and Don Rumsfeld. When I first discussed this group in a speech last week at the New American Foundation in Washington, my comments caused a significant stir because I had been chief of staff to then Secretary of State Colin Powell between 2002 and 2005. But it's absolutely true.
Absolutely.
I believe the decisions of this cabal were sometimes made with the full and witting support of the president, and sometimes with something less. More often than not, then National Security Advisor Condoleezza Rice was simply steamrolled by this cabal. Its insular and secret workings were efficient and swift, not unlike the decision-making one would associate more with a dictatorship than a democracy. This furtive process was camouflaged neatly by the dysfunction and inefficiency of the formal decision-making process, where decisions, if they were reached at all, had to wend their way through the bureaucracy with its dissenters, obstructionists, and guardians of the turf. But the secret process was ultimately a failure. It produced a series of disastrous decisions that virtually ensured that the agencies charged with implementing them would not or could not execute them well. I watched these dual decision-making processes operate for 4 years at the State Department. As Chief of Staff for 27 months, I had a door adjoining the Secretary of State's office. I read virtually every document he read. I read the intelligence briefings and spoke daily with people from all across government. I knew that what I was observing was not what Congress intended when it passed the 1947 National Security Act. The law created the National Security Council, consisting of the President, Vice President, and the Secretaries of State and Defense, to make sure the nation's vital national security decisions were thoroughly vetted. The NSC has often been expanded, depending on the President in office, to include the CIA Director, the Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, the Treasury Secretary, and others, and has accumulated a staff of sometimes more than 100 people. But many of the most crucial decisions from 2001 to 2005 were not made within the traditional NSC process. Scholars and knowledgeable critics of the U.S. decision-making process may rightly say, so what? Haven't all of our presidents in the last half-century failed to conform to the usual process at one time or another? Isn't the president's prerogative to make decisions with whomever he pleases? Moreover, can he not ignore whomever he pleases? Why should we care that President Bush gave over much of the critical decision-making to his Vice President and the Secretary of Defense? Both as a former academic and as a person who's been in the ring with the bull, I believe that there are two reasons we should care. First, such departures from the process have in the past led us into a host of disasters, including the last years of the Vietnam War, the national embarrassment of Watergate, the Iran-Contra scandal, and the now ruinous policy of George W. Bush. But a second and far more important reason is that the nature of both governance and crisis has changed in modern age. From managing the environment to securing sufficient energy resources, from dealing with trafficking in human beings to performing peacekeeping missions abroad, governing is vastly more complicated than ever before in human history. Further, the crises the U.S. government confronts today are so multifaceted, so complex, so fast-breaking, and almost always with such incredible potential for regional and global ripple effects, that to depart from the systemic decision-making process laid out in the 47th statute invites disaster. Discounting the professional experience available within the federal bureaucracy and ignoring entirely the inevitable but often frustrating dissent that often arises therein makes for quick and painless decisions. But when government agencies are confronted with decisions in which they didn't participate, in which they frequently disagree, their implementation of those decisions is fractured, uncoordinated, and inefficient. This is particularly the case if bureaucracies called upon to execute the decisions are in strong competition with one another over scarce money, talented people, turf, or power. It takes firm leadership to preside over the bureaucracy, but it also takes a willingness to listen to dissenting opinions. It requires leaders who can analyze, synthesize, ponder, and decide. The administration's performance during its first 4 years would have been even worse without Powell's damage control. At least once a week, it seemed, Powell trooped over to the Oval Office and cleaned the dog poop off the carpet. He held a youthful and experienced president's hand. He told him everything would be all right because he is the Secretary of State and he would fix it. And he did. Everything from a serious crisis with China when U.S. reconnaissance aircraft was struck by a Chinese F-8 fighter jet in April 2001 to the Secretary's constant reassurances to European leaders following the bitter breach in relations over the Iraqi war. It wasn't enough, of course, but it helped. Today we have a president whose approval rating is 38% and a vice president who speaks only to Rush Limbaugh and assembled military forces. We have a Secretary of Defense presiding over the death by 1,000 cuts of our overstretched armed forces. No surprise to ignore dissenters such as former Army Chief of Staff General Eric Shinseki or former Army Secretary Thomas White. It's a disaster. Given the choice, I'd choose a frustrating bureaucracy over an efficient cabal every time. It's a disaster, is what he's saying.
You realize we have not built a new refinery since the early 1970s.
I'll be dang. 115 at 560 WQM if you...
Talk about your Teflon presidents. Woo, you ain't kidding. Goodbye, George. You gotta go, me oh my oh. You gotta go home 'cause you f***ed up bad on the bio. But you sure flew quick when it came to sick Terry Schiavo. Son of a bush is a foot in your tush. Now say goodbye, yo. Ta-ta, Georgie. While people drowned, you played a round of relaxing golf. Well, he was on vacation. Priorities are not your cup of tea. That's evident, oops. And no one cared to even prepare for the worst scenario. You were the one busy having fun, and that's a no-no. You'll investigate at a later date. That's real bullshit. So, dinky situation. The ones that up should get locked up so it don't continue. But no one will get blamed like with Agent Flame. No heads will roll. Of course. And as for this, to be a slap on the wrist and no charges filed. What a surprise. 'Cause you're a liar. No one gets fired with each new meso. Nobody. A new death toll, a slip in the polls, that's no problemo. He'll fix it. Your spin machine will deal with New Orleans, 'cause that's their job-o. As per usual. Son of a bush is a foot in your tush. You're an asshole.
Rectum.
We just don't understand you got blood on your hands, but want no blame. Oh, I'm a problem solver. You made it obvious, at least to most of us, you have no shame. Oh, shame, what's that? And what's with that smirk, you stupid jerk, when people have died? Oh, son of a beach, you should be impeached, and we mean pronto. Now do us all a favor and get the out. You hear? Jackass.
That gives you affordable coverage for major illnesses?
Good. It's 20 after 1 at 560 WQAM. Christian DVD sparks riot. See this story?
No, let's hear all about it.
Alexandria, Egypt. It's that good old-time religion, baby. The root of all hatred and evil in the world. But happy Simchas Torah. One person died and more than 90 were injured as thousands of Muslims rioted outside a Coptic Christian church Friday. See, some of this is a little ancient because we haven't got time to get around to it because of this hurricane. To denounce a play deemed offensive to Islam, police responded by beating the protesters and firing tear gas into the crowd. Police said 53 protesters were arrested as people hurled stones, smashed windows, and tried to storm St. George Church. Protesters also set a police car on fire and wrecked 8 other cars, the Interior Ministry will be saying in a statement. A photographer of the Associated Press saw police fire rubber bullets into the crowd, causing injuries. Police claimed officers fired rubber bullets only into the air while trying to disperse the crowd. Well, they lie a lot. One protester died after being trampled and inhaling tear gas. The Interior Ministry described the protesters as fanatic elements who escalated a negative reaction to a play. The ministry said about 5,000 Muslims marched to the church after Friday noon prayers at mosques. How do you like that? The riot was sparked by the distribution of a DVD of a play that was performed at the church 2 years ago. The play, I Was Blind But Now I Can See, tells the story of a young Christian who converts to Islam and becomes disillusioned. Uh-oh.
I see.
How do you like that? The church's director, the Reverend Augustinius, said it was difficult to explain the reaction to a one-time performance that took place 2 years ago. There are so many questions on what is behind all that, he told the AP in a telephone interview. He denied the play was offensive to Islam because its Christian hero is ultimately saved by a Muslim friend. All the Bubba-Mices all the time. How do you like that? Here's a good story to get a little chuckle on you.
All right.
It's not a chuckle. It's
depressing.
it's sad, sick. But since we are sick. Ontario, California. A man was arrested after neighbors reported seeing him sexually assaulting his family's 10-year-old female Rottweiler, police said. Ubaldo Vasquez Huizar, 39, was arrested for investigation on 2 counts of sexual assault on an animal, according to a statement from Ontario Police Detective David McBride.
How old was the dog?
10.
Uh-huh. Well, that's
Does
old
that
enough
make
in
a
human
difference?
years, isn't it?
I beg your pardon?
Isn't that old enough in human years?
70. Dog year is 7 years.
Well then.
70-year-old female. Detectives learned of the alleged crimes after going to Huizar's home to notify him he was required to register as a sex offender, the statement said. He had been convicted last December of exposing himself to an 11-year-old girl, so he's not choosy. 10-year-old dog, 11-year-old girl. He was also wanted on an outstanding $10,000 drug warrant, obviously an upstanding citizen of Ontario, California. While at the home, police learned that Huizar was living in a large... Oh, no. He was living in a large doghouse in the backyard. Neighbors reported he often slept naked in the doghouse with his family dog, Mayra, the statement said. They said they saw Huizar sexually assault the animal with a broom handle in his hand and heard the dog cry in pain when he was in the doghouse. Neighbors also reported seeing Huizar in his backyard dressed in woman's bra and panties, dancing with a broom handle. Well, that kind of stuff goes on in Sweetwater every day. Huizar was booked at the West Valley Detention Center, according to the San Bernardino County Sheriff's website. The Inland Valley Humane Society took Myra into protective custody. The family might not get the dog back if he's convicted of sexually assaulting it. Might not. Studies have shown a link between abuse of animals and abuse of humans. How do you like that? A large percentage of sexual abusers start out abusing animals. That's something?
Oh, yeah, I knew that.
Did you know that?
Documentaries about, like Jeffrey Dahmer and all these people.
I see.
He was one.
Well, did he have animals, chopped up in the freezer or not?
Yeah, well, he would torture them. I don't know if he kept them on ice.
Bastard. Well, he got his anyway, Jeffrey Dahmer. Won't see him no more. Now, if we got anything new coming in or what?
The only thing I got is a Shell station on Andrews in Oakland is open. Okay.
Well, don't say the only thing you got. That's important crap. Andrews in Oakland, that's where that hot dog place used to be that I can never think of the name of. It began with an R? You know what I'm talking about.
Did it begin with an R?
Yeah, Andrews in Oakland, right on the corner there. But it's gone, it's moved or something, I don't know. I've just got a brain fart about that. That was a good place. It was a sponsor about 100 years ago, back when we had those.
What are those?
I don't know. Hey, our sales department's working diligently. Did we get any update on Pompano Park from Troy yet? No.
No.
He just, I don't know what he's doing. He's probably over at Screw Ann's house hanging it out. I just don't get it. I mean, I realize that these people don't have an awful lot they can do in there, but just to screw off and disappear. Now, Duff is on vacation, which, of course, what can we say about that?
You fairy.
Good timing is what I'd say.
Wouldn't you think that with these emergency situations going on here, we would postpone the vacation? Wouldn't you think that?
No.
I sure as hell wouldn't.
I think it's a great idea. I think I'll go.
Getting out of town? All you people that have lived, that have survived through this, obviously, if you're listening, you must be still alive or very close to it. This should be a good lesson to you, okay? This bullcrap about paradise, with all due respect to my close personal friend who's returning it too, paradise my ass. Just not buying it.
By the way, was that place Reno's?
That's it. Very good. Somebody called you with that?
Yeah, somebody called in. It's not there anymore.
I know that. That's why I said. Thank you very much, Reno's. Not Janet. Something they had good shakes, but not the kind that you have in your body. But they had the greatest hot dogs and what else they had there? Burgers and all kinds of good stuff. Reno's. Great onion rings. Right on the corner of Andrews and Oakland. Then that neighborhood started changing quite a bit. You know what I mean?
What do you mean? No, I don't know what you mean.
I don't know.
Okay.
Anyway, 26 after 1, we got the Mo Meister at 2. He's back from all kinds of places. Then we got Mad Dog in the house. Hurricane Hotline at 7 in the studio because naturally they can't go to a restaurant that's like of tourists. World Series game number 4 at 9 o'clock, followed by the Ed Kaplan Show probably in the wee hours of the morning.
This is Neil Rogers.
Want a lollipop, little boy?
Grab hold of your yarmulkes and get ready for a Broadway show you won't want to pass over. It's Fiddler on the Roof, as you've never heard it before, starring Rosie O'Donnell.
If I were a thin girl, yada deedle deedle diddle deedle 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 dum. Ellen would have said yes to me if I were a dress size 3.
And Harvey Firestein.
Matchmaker, make me a match. I like to pitch, so he'd better catch.
Holy gefilte fish! Rosie and Harvey even sing a Fiddler on the Roof duet already.
Sunrise, sunset, sunrise, sunset. Broadway's full of gay. Even though our careers have ended, here is one job that still pays.
Hi, it's so transgender it almost isn't kosher. Don't miss Rosie O'Donnell and Harvey Firestein in Fiddler on the Roof.
There you go, in honor of Simchat Torah, something a little special for you. It's 1:31 at QAM. I'm looking for updates on a Fort Lauderdale airport. Can't find nothing. And the last 2 days, we haven't put on our partners there, Channel 6, not even for one moment during the show. Are they not giving us any useful crap?
I don't know if they're giving us anything over the phone, but we can't pick them up without the cable on the TVs here in the building.
I see.
To put their audio on as we could.
Well, what about Channel 7?
There's Channel 7 right there.
Because the thought of
the
electrocution doesn't make my day, but because there's been these stations, the fences in many places because of the wind.
He's not saying anything, by the way.
Who is that?
That was Jeb.
Oh, that was your fat-ass governor. I couldn't
Jeb
hear it. He was like mumbling. He was mumbling.
You can
hear screw him, man. He's a loser, and these people in Florida just never... I don't know what it is, but those people continue being blinded by his BS. I don't know what the deal is. Maybe Noel is supplying them with blow or something. I don't know what the deal is all about.
Blow some down here, honey. We could use anything.
Yeah. It blows. Don't panic about bird flu, say top officials.
Oh, my God.
That's the thing now worldwide, not just U.S., but it's like getting everybody into a total panic. People shouldn't panic about a possible influenza pandemic, despite the steady spread of a deadly strain of avian flu among humans, leading health officials and politicians said yesterday. You follow that?
I got it.
More than 60 people in Southeast Asia have died of bird flu, and the avian outbreak has made its way to Europe. Experts say the world is overdue for a flu pandemic and predict the most likely cause will be an animal strain which mutates. They're straining it. Despite increasing public nervousness, Margaret Chan, Assistant Director General of the WHO, said the general population should remember it's relatively hard to catch bird flu. We're not in a pandemic yet. I don't want the community to have unnecessary anxiety, she told Reuters in an interview. Chan and Canadian officials said the public should understand there are clear differences between avian flu, seasonal flu, and a pandemic which could kill tens of millions. We're taking very drastic actions to reduce the risk of avian influenza to animals and birds, said Chan, who was in Ottawa to address a major international conference yesterday on combating future pandemics. Canadian Prime Minister Paul Martin told delegates that the global fight against the flu pandemic could be undermined if governments fail to prevent mass panic in the event of widespread fatalities. Speaking of Paul Martin, by the way, the Canadian government is pondering suing the gun manufacturers in the U.S. because of the recent epidemic of gun crimes here in Ontario.
Yeah.
How do you like that?
Well, good luck.
They're starting to butch up now. They're not putting up with any more of this crap. It's not just the softwood lumber thing. Now they're starting to get really pissed off, like Chrétien was with Bush. Among the most profound challenges we face is communication with our own citizens. Public fear and bad information all could easily snowball into panic, Martin said. Last thing we need is people panicking. Okay? It would complicate our collective response to a pandemic immeasurably and magnify its potential impact. Our best antidote will be clear, honest, and consistent assessment of the risks we face, the ability to swiftly gather information, and to speak with one voice in frank and constructive terms early and continuously in English or French, he said. He's a frog, by the way. Do you know that?
I do now.
Paul Martin. I wonder if he's kin to Jacques Martin, the coach of the Panthers. Panthers won last night 4-3 in overtime in Pittsburgh, who still haven't won a game, and the Panther game Saturday has been postponed at the Mac Arena. Thousands of Italian poultry farmers demonstrated in northeastern cities on Tuesday demanding action against irrational fear over bird flu, which has cut national consumption of chicken by more than half. David Butler-Jones, Canada's public health officer, said avian flu had shown no signs yet of turning into a human virus and warned against stockpiling antiviral drugs like Tamiflu. Once we do see a general pandemic, which we have not, we don't know for sure to what extent any virals will be effective, he told a news conference. A pandemic of influenza could be in 1 year. It could be in 20 years. Martin said a pandemic would require unprecedented coordination and cooperation among countries. Our planning and preparation for a pandemic will inarguably help to put us in a better position to respond to other emerging diseases, to natural disasters, and the threats of bioterrorism we may face in the future, he said. A vaccine against future flu pandemic won't be available until scientists identify the exact strain. Mexican Health Minister Julio Frank said the best way to ensure sufficient vaccines in a pandemic was to transfer the necessary technology now to nations like Mexico, India, China, and Brazil. Oh, boy. I tell you, that Southeast Asian, that whole deal over there, man. I think they're eating a little bit too much raw dog these days. And that guy in Ontario, California is not going to be too happy about that.
Maybe he's into that too.
Taking away his buddies. Okay, now before I do any more of these, because you're pushing me on this crap. What else do we want to repeat here? Since we are trying to be a little bit useful.
I don't know. I'm going to pass out from the heat.
Really?
Well, we got no AC.
I didn't know they were playing today. I'm looking for updates and updates. I got absolutely nothing more about the Fort Lauderdale Hollywood Airport. Miami Airport is open. Not a full schedule, but they must be getting back to a fairly normal, faster than anticipated.
A guy called in and said, I don't know if this is true, but a guy called in and said that the Fort Lauderdale Airport will be open tomorrow. And the reason it's not open today is because, nobody can pick up the people. Like, there's no gas for the cabs, buses, and all that stuff. So, I don't know if you
Nobody
want
can pick up the people?
Yeah, I mean, if there were people there, how the hell are they going to get out of there?
What does that mean?
Meaning cabs, buses need gas, nowhere to get that. So.
Hello?
Hello?
Yeah? You're not hearing us?
Hello?
What just happened here?
Uh-oh. Hey, Josh, go and,
Hello?
call somebody. Oh, boy. What's going to be faster?
How about I just go to a break?
Well, this is a fine kettle of fish, because I'm not hearing nothing from down there, and I haven't got the foggiest idea.
Go ahead and go to a break.
Did you go off the air?
No.
Getting it in my hair.
G.W. Bush, how many drugs did you take? G.W. Bush, they must have affected your brain. To get your college graduation, it cost your daddy a big chunk of change. G.W. Bush, here's another $1 million from the NRA.
the dance, leader of the band, ruler of the universe, your raving power man. You've got enough bread to make it. You have the country for a toy to play. G.W. Bush, I'm gonna get my passport today. Schmuck, schmuck, you phony schmuck. Some of us have a brain. Our passports will be ready with all your little letters. Vote for you anyway. G.W. Bush, pack up the whole suitcase. G.W. Bush, you might as well move right in today. The Oval Office is waiting. Christopher Logos here to redecorate. So go ahead and deny you do right. When you hear Sam Donaldson say, W. Bush, how many drugs did you take? G.W. Bush, you're gonna win.
Okay, well, the good news is I'm still here. The bad news is I can't hear a damn thing. I'm just shutting you off, George. I'm just cutting this thing down. I don't want to waste my battery on hearing your stuff. At any rate, 14 till 2, and just in the middle of a sentence there, Josh disappeared, and that was it. That was the end of the audio.
Can you hear me?
So it's obviously somebody's
No,
diddling.
he can't hear us.
They're diddling over
Let's
there
talk
on that
about
end of the situation, on the phone lines, which I wouldn't be surprised. It's a miracle that we've been on at all.
Hey, Neil.
You're gay.
And, of course, Clarence went bada-beep, bada-boop, bada-bada like that. Well, our engineering people are busy working on other things. Right. I'm sure they are. I can imagine what...
Hello.
Recap some of the stuff that I've got, and then I'm going to get out of here.
Right. Neil wears pink underwear.
And then we got Mo coming up at 2 o'clock, Mad Dog at 4, Hurricane Hotline in the studio at 7 because obviously everything else is screwed up outside. World Series Game 4, 9 o'clock, and then Ed Kaplan after the World Series. Probably ends tonight. Unfortunate. Anyway, Broward County has been approved for FEMA assistance for both small businesses and individuals. The number to call is 1-800-621-3362. 1-800-621-FEMA. Now, you've got to save all your receipts because FEMA assistance is only for reimbursement. It was announced at the Broward Emergency Operations Center this morning. FP&L says they hope to have power restored by 7 years from Sukkot, okay? It's not looking really great. A majority of Broward by November the 8th. Today is October 26th. That's 13 days. Just shy of 2 weeks. A majority of Broward by November 8th. And everyone in the county will be back online by November 15th. Lynn Shaddis of FP&L says 10,913 people are working on restoration from mid-St. Lucie County south into Miami-Dade. And I could give the ice and water stuff again, but I'm not going to. And I think what you ought to do is take like the last couple of minutes, not that I can hear you,
right?
But you can take the last couple of minutes and go back with the gas stations and the food again because we've got Jacaranda Pizzas open and Howie's and the Stadium Diner and a couple of fast food joints, a Burger King and a Wendy's in South Dade.
Get ready, Josh, because you got some.
So you can recap that at the end. I'll take the break a little bit early and then bail out of here because I can't hear you at all.
Yeah, get out of here.
Anyway, here's one more column. Frank Rich wrote, and it's again from Sunday. Do any of these because we haven't had other fish to fry or else not been on the air.
Fried fish would be really good right now.
Frank Rich in the New York Times on Sunday, Carl and Scooter's excellent adventure. He says there were no...
All right.
Between Saddam Hussein and Al-Qaeda 9/11, there was scant Pentagon planning for securing the peace should bad stuff happen after America invaded. Why exactly did we go to war in Iraq? It still isn't possible to be sure, and this remains the most remarkable thing about the Iraq War, writes New Yorker journalist George Packer, a disenchanted liberal supporter of the invasion in his essential new book, The Assassin's Gate, America in Iraq. Even a former Bush administration State Department official who was present at the war's creation, Richard Haas, tells Mr. Packer that he expects to go to his grave not knowing the answer. Maybe, but the leak investigation now reaching its climax in Washington continues to offer big clues. We don't know yet whether Scooter Levy or Karl Rove has committed a crime. The more we learn about their desperate efforts to take down a bit player like Joseph Wilson, the more we learn about the real secret they wanted to protect the why of the war. To piece that story together, you have to follow each man's history before the invasion of Iraq, before anyone ever heard of Valerie Plame Wilson, let alone leaked her identity as a CIA officer. It's not an accident that Mr. Libby's and Mr. Rowe's very difficult trajectories, one of a Washington policy intellectual, the other of a Texas political operative, would collide before Patrick Fitzgerald's grand jury. They're very different men who play different White House roles, but they're bound together now by the sordid shared past that the Wilson affair has exposed. In Mr. Rove's case, let's go back to January 2002. By then, the post-9/11 war in Afghanistan had succeeded in its mission to overthrow the Taliban and done so with minimal American casualties. In a Tromphilus speech to the Republican National Committee, Mr. Rove for the first time openly advanced the idea that the war on terror was the path to victory for that November's midterm elections. Candidates can go to the country on the issue, he said, because voters trust the Republican Party to do a better job of protecting and strengthening America's military might and thereby protecting America. It was an early taste of the rhetoric that would be used habitually to smear any war critics as unpatriotic. But there were unspoken impediments to Mr. Rove's plan that he certainly knew about. Afghanistan was slipping off the radar screen of American. The president's most grandiose objective, to capture Osama bin Laden dead or alive, hadn't been achieved. How do you run on a war if the war looks as if it's shifting into neutral and the number one evildoer has escaped? Hardly had Mr. Rove given his speech and polls started to register the first erosion of the initial near-universal endorsement of the administration's response to 9/11. A survey in March 2002 found that while 9 of 10 Americans still backed the war on terror at the 6-month anniversary of the attacks, support for an expanded long-term war had fallen to 52%. Then came a rapid barrage of unhelpful news for a political campaign founded on supposed Republican superiority in protecting America. The first report that the Bush administration had lost bin Laden's trail and tore aboard December 2001 by not committing ground troops to hunt him down. The first indications that intelligence about bin Laden's desire to hijack airplanes barely clouded President Bush's August 2001 Crawford vacation. The public accusations by an FBI whistleblower, Colleen Rowley, that higher-ups had repeatedly shackled Minneapolis agents investigating the so-called 20th hijacker, Zacharias Moussaoui, in the days before 9/11. These revelations took their toll. By Memorial Day 2002, a USA Today poll found that just 4 out of 5 the U.S. was winning the war on terror, a steep drop from the roughly two-thirds holding that conviction in January. Mr. Rove could see that an untelevised and largely underground war against terrorists might not nail election victories without a jolt of shock and awe. It was a propitious dog. Enter Scooter, stage right. As James Mann details in his definitive group Rise of the Vulcans, Mr. Libby had been joined at the hip with Dick Cheney and Paul Wolfowitz since their service in the Defense Department of Bush 41, where they conceived the neocon manifesto for the build-up and exercise of unilateral American military power after the Cold War. Before Bush 43 took office, they became fixated on Iraq, though for reasons having much to do with their ideas about realigning the states in the Middle East and little or nothing to do with the stateless terrorism of al-Qaeda. Mr. Bush sustained such interventionism when running against Al Gore, but he embraced the cause once in office. While others might have had ideas, American military commanders testified before Congress about their troops and equipment in March 2003. The path was clear for war in Iraq to serve as the political Viagra that Mr. Rove needed for the election year. But here, too, was an impediment. There had to be a why for that invasion, the very why that today can seem so elusive that Mr. Packer calls Iraq the Rashomon of wars. Abstract and highly debatable neocon notions of marching to Baghdad to make the Middle East safe for democracy and make more secure for Israel would never fly with American voters as a trigger for war or convince them that such a war was relevant to the fight against those who attacked us on 9/11. Americans knew Saddam was a despot mass murderer. That in itself was also insufficient to ignite a popular groundswell for regime change. Polls in the summer of steadily...
Oh, no.
If we went in alone. For Rove and Bush to get what they wanted most, slam-dunk midterm election victories, and for Mr. Libby and Mr. Cheney to get what they wanted most, a war in Iraq for reasons predating 9/11, their real whys going to war had to be replaced by fictional, more saleable ones. We wouldn't be invading Iraq to further roving domestic policies or neocon ideology. We'd be doing so instead because there was a direct connection between Saddam and al-Qaeda, and because Saddam was on the verge of attacking America with nuclear weapons. The facts and intelligence had to be fixed to create these whys. Any contradictory evidence had to be dismissed or suppressed. Mr. Libby and Cheney were in the boiler room of the disinformation factory. The Vice President's repetitive hyping of Saddam's nuclear ambitions in the summer and fall of 2002, as well as his persistence in advertising bogus Saddam-Qaeda ties, were fed by the set up in his own... As we know from many journalistic accounts, Cheney and Libby built their case by often making an end run around the CIA, State Department intelligence, and defense intelligence agencies. Their ally in cherry-picking intelligence was a similar cadre of neocon zealots led by Douglas Feith at the Pentagon. This is what Colonel Lawrence Wilkerson, then Secretary of State Powell's wartime chief of staff, was talking about last week when he publicly chastised the Cheney-Rumsfeld cabal for sowing potential disaster in Iraq, North Korea, and Iran. Joseph Wilson wasn't a player in these exalted circles. He was a footnote who began to speak out loudly only after Saddam had been toppled and the mission in Iraq had been accomplished, supposedly. He challenged just one element of the WMD evidence, the uranium that Saddam's government had supposedly been seeking in Africa to fuel its ominous mushroom clouds. But based on what we know about Mr. Libby and Mr. Rove's hysterical over-response to Wilson's accusation, he scared them silly. He did so because they had something to hide. Should Mr. Libby and Rove have lied to investigators or a grand jury in their panic, Fitzgerald will bring charges. But that crime would seem a misdemeanor next to the fables that they and their bosses fed the nation and the world as to the whys for invading Iraq, not to mention the 2,000 dead Americans, of course. Okay, see you tomorrow.
Bye.
This is Neil Rogers. This is
I guess he's taking that break now.
QAM.
560. Oh, how did it See that? I'm hip. We play that rock and roll bumper music on my show. What is that?
A Springsteen, Dancing in the Dark.
That ain't no dancing in the dark. Get that Catharai off there. Here's Dancing in the Dark. That's when men were men and women were taxi dancers. And men who weren't men got their pictures on a postcard. Never mind your morons. Joining me today is a very special guest. This man's like a god to me. The inimitable Ted Williams. Hey, Ted, what do you know? What do you say?
Oh, I'm just rolling merrily along.
Busy. Are you keeping busy?
I work at a bowling alley's cleaning ball return machine. Those fingers taste so bad, I'm glad I don't have them anymore.
You hear that? Any mo, he says. Any mo. Oh, doctor. Bet you're a riot in that produce department. Thanks for the heads up, Ted.
Hey, gotta change these socks.
Hey, Josh, I don't want to read anything, do you? Oh, look what's going on. It's cracking. Go ahead and throw it to Todd for the sports update. We got 1 minute till 2, and neither one of us has anything to say. It's chaos out there. So take it away, Todd.
Sports Radio 560, WQAM, Miami, Fort Lauderdale.